Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? How you feeling? Happy Sunday to you. I hope you are all happy and healthy doing the things that you love with those you love to do them with. It is the day after game day. It is a day of yet more news that you can't really make up. According to a man who's blocked me on Twitter, you know the man, Mr. Paul O'Keefe, he has said that the reason why Paratici is out of here, that news is dropped. He's going as soon as the window's done. He is out of here. He's been asked to help, quote unquote, help with our transfer window in January. But he's going. He's going to go to Fiorentina. And part of the reason, according to Paul O'Keefe, is because he's met a new bird, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a new girlfriend who says, hey, Fabio, I want to go home. I need to go home. This club, Tottenham, it's another for me. I mean, unbelievable. You couldn't make it up, people. You couldn't make it up. Well, you could make it up, but you'd probably, I don't know. It's just wild. We're losing a director of football, allegedly, because he's met a new bird. She better be some sort. She better be some bird, some unbelievable sort for me to be even remotely okay with this. Paratici bella. Mamma mia, this club. I don't know what is going on here. It's an absolute, better not be bloody Helga. Better not be Helga, just some Joe. It's ridiculous. Honest to God, anywhere else. So in the last week, right, we've had since January the 1st, we have had more injuries than most teams have in a season. We've had a manager who drinks out of our arch nemesis, arch rivals coffee cup. People saying the only cup he'll ever lift is one with Arsenal's badge on it. We've given the perfect goodbye to Semenyo. Here he is Johnny Boy coming in to say hello. Hello, Johnny. How you doing?
I'm okay. I have to go and see my buddy. Come and keep him company.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, mate. I appreciate you. Yeah, I was just
congratulations, guys. I just want to say congratulations to my friend over here for reaching 40,000 subscribers.
Thank you, mate.
Well done, mate. Fantastic feat. And
appreciate that, mate. Appreciate you.
Hopefully, one day we'll be at 40,000 with Football Stink. If you don't know, you need to know. If you don't know, you need to.
The link is in there somewhere. The link is in there. Keep a lookout for the StreamYard, the stream elements thing. All the links are coming thick and fast every 5 minutes. Bye, Johnny. We're going to add that to Football Links setup as well.
Yeah,
we've got lots of transfer news and clues to talk about. But just before we get into all of that, by the way, please do smash the like button, guys. You know what you got to do. Hit the like button as is standard. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate any support there. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. We are, of course, sponsored by the wonderful OK Jersey. And I've just had it on good authority without giving away too much about the things that we know and the things we don't know. If there happen to be 1,901 reasons why you might have wanted something that you couldn't get hold of, well, very soon you might be able to get hold of it in a certain place. Anyway, that's nothing to do with what I'm about to be talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anyway, OK Jersey are sponsoring today's show, as always. Please do, guys, if you're looking for any of your athleisure wear, your football gear, retro, new, rugby gear, whatever you're looking for, branded, unbranded, you know where to go. You know where to find it. OK Jersey, search for what you want, find what you want, get yourself a size up. But then at checkout, stick in code Sean and get yourself 8% off at the checkout. Can't ask fairer than that. Thank you to them. Johnny, mate, I was just starting off
with gear, but they don't do gear, right? Just to clarify.
Yeah, not that kind of gear.
No gear.
Not my favourite type of gear.
This sort of gear, yeah.
Mate, I was just saying, since January the 1st, so we've had more injuries than you could shake a stick at. We've sold a player that we hadn't replaced, and we've subsequently, who was number 2 in the pecking order, we subsequently lost our number 1. We still haven't signed a left winger. We've lost everyone bar 2 midfielders. Our top goal scorer of the season has popped a hamstring. Our manager decided to drink out of the arch rivals cup. We gave Semenyo the opportunity to score on his last kick on his birthday for his club before he moves to Manchester City. We're out of the FA Cup. Our season's over. And to top it all off, our director of football has decided to move back for Italy, allegedly, primarily because he's fallen in love.
Oh, is this... well, it's become official. I haven't seen it. I was just busy on the sorting something out. Is it now official? He's off. Yeah, he's off. He is off. He's off. Ornstein has said it. I'll bring up the tweet. I'll get it now. Oh my God! I think I'm going to have a lie down and a cry, mate.
But
because I love Fabio. I love Fabio, mate. Listen, if you saw Fabio out, he'd become. First of all, he'd have his phone, all right, doing a deal. Yeah. Second of all, he'd engage with you. He'd talk to you. He'd have a laugh. He'd tell you what's going on. Johan Lang is like Lurch, leaning over. Personality of basically magnolia wallpaper, vanilla, right? He couldn't inspire a nun to stay in the church, and that is who's running our football. I mean, what is going on, Sean? The women are signing players left, right, and centre. Have the club decided the only way forward is to back the women's team with a chance of getting to the Champions League? And forgotten old Thomas the Frank Engine, who's sitting there. They're going down like flies. Have you seen the film 10 Little... used to be called something else. Then it was called 10 Little Indians. Right? Before that, it was called something else. And now it's... I don't know what they call it now. That's politically... I don't know what it now is called, politically okay. But they are going down like flies. And we are so well prepared, we don't even have a replacement for Brendan Johnson. I got stick for such a long time calling him Brendan Johnson because he wasn't strong enough, right? He wasn't what I want, like a Paulinho. He didn't work hard enough either. Didn't do anything. He didn't. By the way, he hasn't exactly lit it up at Palace. I think two games, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 tackles, 0 takes on, 0 successful dribbles. And he was part of a team that broke history, made history again. He's a history maker. He had it at Spurs, and he's taken it to Palace. The biggest defeat in the FA Cup history, 117 positions, beating the previous record, I think, was 108 league positions. Look, it's a shit show. We've sent Takai out on loan. Vuskovic probably doesn't want to come back. And to cap it all, the player we talked about, how many times have we talked about Ademara Lookman, right? To the point where people say, Johnny, Sean, stop talking about this guy, man, right? Yeah. He's going to go somewhere big. And where does he go? Fenerbahce on loan. Rumoured.
Is that official? Is it done now?
Well, it's rumoured. It's rumoured. Yeah. Fenerbahce on loan.
But look at this, mate. Look at this. So, honestly, Fabio Paratici set to exit Tottenham Hotspur after current transfer window. Co-sporting director helping, quote-unquote, helping Tottenham in the January market before return to Italy for personal reasons. Expected to join Fiorentina. All right. And then Johnny Blaine has said probably the best football brain of the lot. I think 100% is true.
Yeah.
Low bar, though. Paul O'Keefe says he wanted Igor Tudor as an interim if they sack Frank, and he's off because he's got a new bird. His head's gone. I mean, what are we doing? We are a laughing stock.
We are the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. I mean, if you can't get to a Ricky Gervais concert or you can't get to one of your favourite comedians, just start supporting Spurs. Yeah. It's comedy hour every freaking week. Every week. Every single week. I got called a few names this week because I did a video of Thomas Frank sitting on the couch with a Spurs mug, an Arsenal mug, Arsenal pajamas, Arsenal slippers. And like I AI'd it up and said, thanks, Vinay. This was Vinay's Christmas present to me. Like with his Arsenal Yeah, I have people abusing me. I have to have the ability to laugh at myself and this club. Otherwise, I'd go nuts. I'd go nuts. What else could happen? Just when you think nothing else could happen, Sean, it happens.
Oh, something else is going to happen. Like 2026, mate. 2026 is already an epic year, right? Donald Trump has kidnapped the president of another country. He's now talking about invading Iceland. You've got all sorts of political shenanigans that are going on. They're probably going to end up with... Yeah. If the politics is that wild, your greatest hobby is also going to have a wild 2026. And as I say, it's 11 days old, mate. It's 11 days old, and we've had 4 injuries. We've gifted the guy his perfect goodbye present. We've got Cupgate. We've got fighting with the fans. We've got exits from the FA Cup, and now we got Paratici dropping us because he's got a new bird. There's another level that we can go to. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something.
It's something horrendous. Listen, I said goodbye 2025. Goodbye 2025. You will not be missed. Yes, I know we won the Europa League in the worst final in the history of football, but I hated 2025 on the whole. Barring that and Bodo, you can stick your 2025 up your backside, right?
Yeah.
2026 is going to be better as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. We didn't even get. We've gone nowhere. We're already in free fall. We're in turmoil.
We're further in the mud, mate. We left 2025 at the first stage of quicksand, and what we've done is we've moved our feet and our legs trying to get out. We've ended up. We're now sinking.
I'm waiting for an announcement from the Lewis children, age 63 and 65, to say, Tottenham Hotspur supporters, we'd like to tell you now that we are going to forsake the league. We're happy to finish 17th because we are all out to win the Champions League this season.
Yeah. Right, but let's just reflect on that. Why did we sack? I'm happy Andrew's gone. I'm not someone that's sitting there with seller's remorse, right? 100%.
Yeah.
But when he was sacked, the narrative from Vinay and from Daniel Levy was, we need a manager who can allow us to compete on all fronts. Yeah. Put aside the injuries, even if you had a fully fit squad, a best first 11. Right,
I think we've been doing better than now. Oh, I do believe that. For
sure. But let's say the best 11 was Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, just for argument's sake, Vicario, midfield of, still don't really know,
Maddison, Kulu, Palhinha.
Fine. Xavi in the 10, whatever. Yeah, fine. And then Kudus, Xavi off the left, Solanke up the top.
Yeah.
Even if our B team still has all those options, you're still not competing on any particular front. That's absent any injuries. Well, Maddison and Kulu,
let's be honest.
Not paper over the cracks of this squad, right?
His own words. So all you people slagging Thomas Frank, Ange Postecoglou said that this squad isn't good enough or deep enough to compete in the Europa League and the Premier League. His words, not mine, right? Okay. What makes us think that 2 signings and 2 loan signings is going to change it to be enough for it to be Champions League and the Premier League? I'm just trying to work out how we're meant to go from 17th and a squad that's not fit to grace both to supposedly, for some fans, to finish top 4. I'm not quite understanding how we're meant to achieve that. I'm not making any excuse for Thomas Frank because I think we could have done better. But at the same time, we cannot ignore the fact that we've sold players, we haven't bought players in. And let's be honest, Sean, you and I both know from Football Inc. when we were about to sign Mohamed Kudus, we had West Ham fans come in and say, yeah, you'll be excited for him for 10 games, right? Then you'll see what he's like, the real Kudus is like. And we thought it was all bitter. You know, the fact that he didn't score. What about last year? He only scored 3 goals. Yeah, but that was because he was playing for West Ham. No, he was shit. And let's be honest, he has been a disappointment. He started okay, but how many goals in the season?
He has regressed massively.
Yeah, how many goals?
Is that because he's been overplayed?
Well, I said to you, Richie had been overplayed. And what were they doing? They were resting Moani and still playing Richie. And what's happened? He's been overplayed because there'd been no other striker because there's no other option. And now he's out for 6 to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. And do you honestly think in any shape, way or form that Dom Solanke is anywhere now? I mean, I saw the things. It's okay, we got Dom back. Dom's not going to make 30 minutes.
Yeah, he's not ready. So we have to play Dane Scarlett up. Well, we'll play Colin Moani.
I mean,
Colin Moani is definitely better in the 9, but that guy is far too casual. He's far too casual. But listen, but he has got a fantastic touch on him. Like when he's motivated. And to be fair, when we scored that, when he laid off the ball to Odebear and Odebear put it top of the bottom bins last night, I suddenly saw him sprinting. He sprinted to go and get the ball from the back of the net to run back, and he was sort of pumped up for that. But I'm like, I'd like to see that in play. Not between someone else putting the ball in the back of the net and getting back to the halfway line. Don't get me wrong, right thing to do.
No. Sean, he's seen that. Look, this is a guy that was at Eintracht Frankfurt, smashing it. Gets sold for 95 million euros, goes to PSG, plays for PSG, playing for France in the World Cup, right? A starter, okay? And what happens? He doesn't quite work out at PSG. He goes on loan. We tried to sign him. He goes on loan to Juventus, where he has a good second half of the season, has a really good Club World Cup. It doesn't happen at Juventus because they can't find the money, although they were desperately trying to. We know they've got financial issues. He comes to Spurs. He must have looked at what was going on. We saw the Kolo Muani, Sean, in a couple of games at the beginning, and his first touch and everything he did looked fantastic. I think he's been demoralised with what he's seen at the club, the results, the way the fans are dealing with it and greeting him.
I don't think he ever wanted to be here, mate.
Yeah. I mean, listen, last night he set up a couple of chances. He scored a lovely finish, which was ruled out for offside. But I thought he was quite good when he came on.
I thought he was pretty good. I prefer him in the 9 than I do out on the wide.
100% agree.
100% he's better in the 9. Maybe we'll see something more from him. I think he might score against West Ham, and I really hope he does, just so I can come after this man in the chat right now, James Flower. Big up to you, Jimmy. I hope you're okay, my man. Johnny, let me just quickly do a couple of super chilly chit chats, and then we'll get back into it, mate. Box Kev with a super sticker again, mate. Unbelievable generosity from you, mate. Always here with the big ones, mate. I really appreciate you so much. Choo to you, buddy. Box Kev, thank you so much, man. I hope you're okay. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday wherever you are. And I guess you're in America with the dollar sign, unless you're in Canada or somewhere else that's got a dollar. But big up to you, my man. Thank you very much indeed. Let me know where you're from, Box Kev. Let me know where you're from in America. And, actually, there you go. It's not from Canada because Canada's got the CA in front of it. Conan Takai. Big up to you, my man. He's put in a super chat as well saying, is Frank gone yet? I would love to know the answer as well. I don't think he has. Obviously, he clearly hasn't. He clearly hasn't, Conan. But I think that the club are, well, according to Fabio Paratici's little tweet there from the man who blocked me, Paratici wanted to bring in Igor Tudor as a temporary with that's an interesting one. What do you think of Igor Tudor, by the way?
You see my reaction, Sean. Look, I'm not in for getting rid of Frank until the summer, right? If you're going to get rid of him. You get rid of him in the summer where you've got Tommy Tuchel, you've got Nagelsmann, you've got Poch, you've got a whole host of managers that are free and potentially free. Whether or not they'd want to come to our club with the mess it's in is another question. But I don't see any point in getting rid of him now. That's my opinion. I see people talking about bringing Terzic in on a trial for 6 months. I see people talking about Harry Redknapp, even some people suggesting two things. I don't know which one's more ridiculous. What's more ridiculous, bringing back Ryan Mason or bringing back Ange Postecoglou?
They're both ridiculous. I don't want Ryan Mason back at the football.
No, but that's the sort of the thing where the fan base are coming up with. Let's just stick to what we've got. Really,
Marshall here saying the thing I was just about to bring up. The only thing Paratici's good at, mate, he hasn't got a little black book or maybe he has with his birds' numbers in it and stuff, but he goes out and finds new loves of his life. But really, he's just a guy that utilises his old clubs to support his current clubs. And I think that you'll find lots of players will end up leaving Tottenham and going to Fiorentina because that's what he does. That's what he does, mate. I think you'll end up seeing, I don't know, Kota Takai might end up going to Fiorentina, or Ben Davies might go to Fiorentina for a year before he hangs up his boots. I just like the only manager that he wanted to bring in was a guy that he used to work with, or that he knows from his Juventus relationship.
He knows Gabon. Look, let me tell you something. Scalding's still there, right? Gabonini, and what's that? Look, the guy. I don't care what everyone says. If it wasn't for him, our academy would be on the floor like it was before. We would still be doing the same shit as we did before. A very interesting, actually, Pep Guardiola was talking this week about academy and how these kids are not prepared for the journey from the academy football, this cosseted nature. They need some cold, hard facts, mate. I don't really want to see them training in 6-star luxury. I'd like to see them in a caravan, right? Getting changed in a porter cabin where it's freezing cold. Man up. Go and play fucking like Exeter or Grimsby on a cold night.
Newcastle's training ground is an absolute state. It's like a park bench, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, my point is, are they mollycoddled to the point where, when they eventually turn up at Port Vale or wherever they are for their loan, are they really set up and ready to take on men's football? Because they cosseted. Yeah. I mean, I saw them coming off of even the kids that were coming off, the Lewis Barnetts and the rest of them, Williams Barnett. Even they weren't interacting with the kids. I've got to tell you though, Sean, just quickly, after the video I posted of them ignoring the fans on the bus, which went pretty much viral, I noticed that the players, when they arrived, they were signing autographs and shaking hands.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Listen, I hope they did see the video, and I hope it has. They have changed their attitudes towards it, because I thought it was.
Have you ever had someone reply for football? I was thinking about doing this thing. Where, have you ever seen this? It's like a viral thing that goes on Instagram where people take like a picture of their football team on TV or whatever, and they post it on Instagram. I'm thinking about doing it and they say like, oh, I promised my wife I would take her to see Arsenal if someone from the club comments on this post. And then like it goes, obviously it gets a lot of like retweets or whatever on Instagram, and then you see Arsenal saying we'd love to have you reach out or whatever else. So I might say I promised my dog Bugsy Malone I'd take her to the football.
Mate, I wouldn't be wasting my time here. I would be saying I promised my my very sick grandmother and my sick mother that if you retweeted this, I would go to the El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah. Let's step it up again. Not Tottenham.
Not Tottenham. Spurs, mate. I would have no interest in Spurs at all. None at all.
Big up, Lubo.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good evening. Yeah, not bad, mate. We're just laughing at the fact that Tottenham have sunk to new levels. We're losing our director of football to a woman.
Yeah,
Paratici's leaving. He's going back to Fiorentina at the end of January, and apparently it's for personal reasons. And Paul O'Keefe has said he's fallen in love, and the woman wants to go back to Italy. That's the reason why.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to fall in love, you're going to be anywhere. Florence is the most beautiful,
it's gorgeous, isn't it?
The most beautiful city in Europe. I absolutely love it in Florence. But
you say it's not nicer than Tottenham High Road this time.
Oh yeah, mate. Listen, let me tell you, Florence is unbelievable. But the only thing I would say is the stadium is a shocker. It doesn't even have a roof.
Does it need a roof?
It needs a roof in the winter.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So so that's the latest. I don't know, shit show that is out in the world of Tottenham Hotspur. It's been quite a 2026 so far. After 2025 was that bad, 2026 said, "Hold my beer." We're 11 days in, and I don't know what else could go wrong, Lubo.
There's always something going on, isn't there, with this club? What was tomorrow,
mental, mate? They had Cupgate already as well. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Imagine. I would hate to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. Just for. Imagine if we were going away to a game, and the next thing you hear, the game's been cancelled. The Tottenham Hotspur coach has been in in a traffic accident or something. Like you could just imagine. You could imagine something. Yeah, God forbid, of course. I shouldn't have said that, but you understand? Like, I just think it will be just one thing after a bloody another.
Well, listen, we might be in free fall, but West Ham are on the way up. West Ham beat the mighty QPR 2-1 with a 98th minute goal from their new styling, Valentina Castellanos.
He scored. Oh, there you go. There we go. You know what's going to happen on Saturday now.
Guys, you know what's happening. You know what's coming this Saturday. Dr. Tottenham. Valentine will be hitting a purple streak. Honestly.
Oh, dear. Listen, in other news, apparently we put in a 65 million euro bid for Brahim Diaz, the Real Madrid right winger /10. Unbelievable player. Really, I like him a lot. I think he's fantastic. He doesn't play enough in Spain because of the competition over there. He's currently playing and doing very well for Morocco in the African Cup of Nations. Do you think, guys, that we're going to have a flurry of transfer activity once the AFCON finishes and once I suppose then the next delay will be the fact that the Champions League still has 2 more fixtures to play, right?
Sean, we are not getting... People have to rule out getting tier 1 footballers. We have fallen so far off the cliff that now the type of player that... I'm going to be honest. This is what I believe. I believe that we've fallen so far that we have to be looking at doing what Brentford do. And what
let's go and get that Iago from Flamengo.
Go and find the players that Club Brugge. You know, we should have been signing Igor Thiago from Club Brugge for £30 million. We should be signing Stankovic from Club Brugge and Iago from other clubs. These are the players who Spurs are going to end up having to pay 50, 60, 70 million pounds for in the future. But that's what proper recruitment is. We haven't done proper recruitment. The only one I'll give them flowers for is probably Lucas Berghvall at 8 to 12 million. 8 to 12 million on him. Vuskovic for 16 million. Pape Matar Sarr for 12 million. And Destiny Udogie for 15 million. They're the sort of the bargain buys. The rest of it, rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish. We have spent so much. Who? Let me ask this, guys. Like, there's a lot of players out there, but let's be entirely honest. You don't really need scouts to be able to scout. Like everybody knows certain levels of players, right? You can consider and go, what do Tottenham need? Well, you need a ball-playing midfielder. Okay, we all know. Every single person who's watching this could name 30 midfielders in the Premier League or in European football that would immediately elevate us. So you don't really need scouts for that. Where you need the scouts is to identify the players that you don't know, that you're not sure about. And most of that is either you haven't heard of them yet because they're still quite young and they haven't moved, or because they're playing in a league that's sort of less trodden or less eyes, the fan base wouldn't necessarily follow. Like maybe a guy that's coming up in the Portuguese league and he plays for Rio Aveiro or whatever it's called, something like that, right? Where you're not really going to stumble across them. But I look at the players that we've bought that are in the former pool, like the Richalisons, the Solankis, those sorts of names, and go
Kudus.
Kudus is a perfect example. And we kind of sit there and go, we spent a hell of a lot of money on these players that don't really need to be scout. You don't need to scout those players. Everyone knows those players, and yet we picked them wrong.
Because no one else wanted them. We are third sitting at the dinner table and we think we've pulled a coup. We've beaten Bayern Munich to Dragusin. We've beaten Barcelona to Lucas Berghvall. Look, the truth of the matter is, I've always said this, scouting is great, the data is great, but what it doesn't tell you, ask Steve Hitchin, you look at a player on a couple of videos, what is the content of his character? What is the mindset? Jadon Sancho, blessed with skill. Mindset, shit. Reece Nelson, great skill. Mindset, shit. And I'll be honest with you, Mohamed Kudus, West Ham fans were telling me, yeah, come back in 10 games and tell me how well he is. And I'm looking at him now, lazy, body language all wrong. He's not uprooted trees. He's not taken us to another level. And I wonder about his mindset. And I look at Kolo Muani, who, I'll be honest with you, I'm a huge fan. But I don't know whether it's the malaise at the club. But Kolo Muani's body language a few games ago was reminiscent of Ndombele. Lazing around, didn't look like he could be asked to go. So, you know, when I look at someone, I'll have to stop my rant now, but if you want someone with a great mindset, if we had 11 Paulinhas with that mindset, we would not be in the position we're in now. He wants to win, he cares about winning, and he will do anything he can to win. I don't feel I get that from a lot of the acquisitions that we've made over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, I completely agree. Lubo, what's your say, mate?
Just the whole thing needs changing, everything. The owners, the team below them, the recruitment team, hopefully with Lange, hopefully they'll get rid of Lange, but I don't see any sign of that from what I'm hearing. Where are the kids? The kids I think they're just leaving it to Vinay. Vinay ain't got a clue. Not a clue. Guy's not got a clue. I can only hope.
Can we just ask that? I don't remember. My memory's not always that great about certain things. It's filled with useless information. What did the Arsenal fans think when Vinay signed for Tottenham?
Well, the Arsenal fans that I've spoken to were happy he went.
Oh, really? Okay.
He left over a year ago. Let's not convolute stuff, right? That's a convenient truth, right? He did a lot of very good things for Arsenal Football Club, right? Don't let anyone tell you anything different. And the thing is...
What were his success stories, though?
Well, he was definitely involved in keeping Arteta at the club when people were looking to get rid of him. He definitely built up the women's team from nothing to what it was. And he was instrumental in a lot of things that went on at the club. Now, the thing is, he left. He got offers of private equity jobs in Saudi Arabia and in America, and he was offered a top job at Newcastle. But he chose Spurs. That's why I always said to you, Sean, right at the beginning, the fact that he chose Spurs over everyone else signaled to me that something was going to happen at the club. Something big was happening.
Who do you think? Do you think Levy hired him or Charrington hired him?
I think the powers that be hired him, not Levy, and I think Charrington with his involvement in private equity and banking, and Vinay with his incredible network of finance people that he knows. I think there was a lot of synergy between the two, and so I either rightly or wrongly presumed that something huge was about to happen at the club. I personally thought they were dressing the board up for sale, but as it transpired, they were dressing it up to throw Daniel under the bus. Whether or not there's a bigger scheme to go here where we are going to spend money or they are going to sell the club, I don't know. But I think however bad, it was bad before, and I think it was a yes culture where everyone nodded to Daniel Levy, and now I think they're trying to bringing in independent people to try and think for themselves for the good of the club. But it just has not worked out so far in a positive way. As Conte.
Hey, this club, 20 years, these owners, always the same. Why, you guys? Why are you always asking me? This club, mate. Just thought I'd show the new wig. It was supposed to be Thomas Frank. It's more Conte as it stands. But mate, Lubo, what's your take on Vinay? Do you think Vinay's a mistake? Is he a problem? Is he a cop blocker, or is he just getting his feet under the table?
He's not a football man. Proper football man. He might be a communicator, he might be a money man. He's not a football man. And I think we've suffered badly from not having football men around the boardroom for many, many years. I think Martin Peters was under Sugar, I think was the very last one. And the problem is that when you employ the wrong people under you to run the football side, and there's nobody in the boardroom with a football pedigree, it's a problem. It's a problem because you've got no one there that can see if the guys below them are doing their job or not. I mean, the situation.
Would you take Daniel Levy back right now instead of Vinay?
No, never in a million years. Never
Should
in
have
a
asked
million
Johnny.
years.
Should have asked. I know your answer, Johnny. Would you?
Never, ever in a million years.
Listen, I think
Vinay. Sean, he's not a football person. Whatever you may think, whatever achievements he made on the commercial side.
But do you need the CEO to be a football person?
Definitely.
So you need.
Listen, but Sean, a CEO of any business has got to know about the product. Has got to know about the business itself. Do you not agree?
No, I do. I do.
I think you're making a wild assumption, Lubo, that he doesn't know anything about football. I don't think you can be. I don't think you can survive. It's like saying that Fabio Paratici doesn't know a sign if he jumped up and bit him on the arse. You don't survive 10 years at Juventus as the number one.
I didn't mention Paratici. We're talking about Vinay.
I know you're talking about him, right? What I'm saying is you don't spend 15 years at Arsenal and not know anything about football. I don't believe that. You don't rise to the top or as near to the top as possible.
First decision he had to make was regarding Paratici and Lang, and he completely got it wrong. Totally got it wrong.
Well, you say he got it wrong. He wouldn't come back. Spurs wanted Paratici to come back, and he would not come back as a number 2 to Johan Lang. So he
should have been number 1, though, right? He should have been number 1. Although had he been number 1, and then had Johan Lang, but had Vinay sat there and gone, do you know what? Someone's got to be the number 1, right? You can't have too many chiefs. And I think if you ask everybody, I would imagine until today, or until the news broke that he wants to go to Fiorentina, I would imagine everybody said if there was a pecking order, it should have been Paratici first, 100%. And then Lang being his understudy. Now, had that been the decision that Vinay had gone with, and then Johan Lang turned around and went, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm not going to be second fiddle. I've not done anything wrong."
You could never say that, though.
Okay, but say he did, and then say he left. Say he went, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go. And then Paratici came in as number 1, and then still fell in love, and his wife said, "Hey, I want to go home." Then would we be even more up shit creek? Well, I don't know. Would we be up shit creek if we had no director of football at the moment? I don't feel like we have a director of football anyway.
Team. Fabio was first team. Let's not confuse the issue. Although they're joint, he's in youth, right? Johan Lang is in the youth element of it, right? And so we are without a director of football, whatever you want to say. We need a proper director of football. Johan Lang is not a head director of football. Otherwise, he would have been given the joint role of finding first team players, and he wasn't. Where it's a shit show.
So who signed Sousa then?
Well, listen. What we have to find out is whether or not Paratici is there till the end of the transfer window.
He is.
I think he is. According to Ornstein, he's there.
Yeah, so maybe he's fulfilling. Maybe he is fulfilling his remit. But yeah, it could easily be Johan Lang buying him, or it could have been links because the one person who's got fantastic links with South America is Gabonini. So he does have contact.
And CAA base, right? They got a station down there as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So anything's possible.
Do you guys think then that we're gonna is the next? It won't happen until February the 2nd or whatever, or until at least then. But do you expect that Vinay's going to bring in another director of football again then to be in charge of the first team?
He has to. No one's going to take Johan Lang seriously. I'm sorry. You see the way he was sat there the other night. I mean, honestly, last night against Bournemouth, he looked like a waxwork, emotionless. You see Paratici. This is the Paratici that we used to see on the bench with Antonio Conte. If you didn't know any better, you would have thought he was the manager going mental.
Yeah.
So, listen, for me, I think the first thing you've got to do, I think you've got to bring an interim in now. I do, because the players aren't playing for him.
An interim what? Manager?
Manager, yeah, definitely. They're not playing for him. You can see that.
Well, do you think no, Lubo? Like, I'm not being funny, but I feel like in the last two games we've seen our best two performances.
100%.
The bar is very low, Lubo.
Performances.
Well, look, sorry. Let me say that again. I didn't mean to cut you off, but just because rather than talking about the bigger picture, let's just talk specifically about the manager. Then you said we need an interim. The second half against Bournemouth was much better. Yes, we shot ourselves in the foot horrendously in the first half, horrendous sloppiness. But the second half was much better. And the second half against Bournemouth was much better as well. We've gone from being a 0 minutes of good football team in the last 3 months to at least a second half FC again, which is where we were under Conte. Under Conte, we were second half FC, if you remember. We were terrible in the first half. And then we picked up our steam in the second half. And you can make the argument we actually did a little bit of that in the first season under Ange as well. So I'm not saying it's enough to get anyone excited. But I'm saying, are there some demonstrations of a little bit better football in the last couple of games?
We're clutching at straws, Sean.
I don't think so. I think two halves. Second half against Bournemouth and second half against Villa. I think we actually competed. I mean, I'd like to see. Look, for me, I can't see how we can make any sort of real judgment without having a sort of a team there for him to put out.
Listen, the problem is, Johnny, that it would be nice to have for Frank to see how he does with his first 11. He may never, if he stays, he may never get an opportunity to play his first 11.
Maybe 9 out of 11 or 8 out of 11, maybe.
Sure, because we seem to pick up injury after injury and long-term injuries as well. So if it went into next season and we've got another 2 or 3 long-term injuries, again, so I mean, when does it? For me, I'd rather get Pochettino signed up now, get Mitchell signed up now, start finding out from Poch what players he wants for the summer, and go from there. And then you got a plan. You got something to own that. I think this whole thing. Listen, you know how I feel. I want it to sell. I think we need new owners, fresh eyes, ex-professional, ex-Spurs guys who know the club on the board as well in an advisory capacity. I think we need Perryman. You could have Hoddle. You could have Ardiles.
Oh, mate, they're out of touch.
No, they're not out of touch. Johnny, no, they're not out of touch.
Glenn Hoddle's commentary is worse than mine.
Right. Well, listen,
anyone who watches my watch-alongs knows how bad it is.
I mean, if you were saying to me, bring back Tim Sherwood or someone who's still involved in the football, who's still
you could bring back someone like Roy. You could bring in someone like Roy Keane who would do a good job.
In what capacity?
Whatever capacity. I think
Roy Keane. I've never once heard Roy Keane. I've never once heard on Sky Sports Sunday. I have never once heard Roy Keane diagnose or analyze tactics. All he talks about is like mentality. Do your job. You baby. All that, he doesn't. That was a terrible accent, but all he does is talks about the mentality side of the game. He doesn't talk about the intricacies of the strategy, which I think is obviously, there's more. The game has moved on from just try harder.
No, of course, but you need players. You need ex-players who he is an ex-player. I'm not saying on this occasion Tottenham, although. If Venables had stayed, I'm told he would have signed in '93, which is a real shame. Along with Des Walker and Tim Flowers, that was another sliding doors moment for our club. Unfortunately, that went the wrong way. But we need some heavyweight ex-pros in the boardroom, advising the board who won't suffer fools gladly. And at the moment, look at the last 25 years. You've had Levy, Cullen, and Collicott in boardrooms. In board meetings, how the hell would they know whether something's good or not? On the foot, whether something's working.
But do they?
Or not. I'm not talking about date. I'm talking generally the whole thing, whether they could see progress or not.
How much do you think? How many board meetings do you think that they have a week?
I have no idea. Two board,
a Monday meeting, and a Friday meeting, like a roundup.
WhatsApp group, like Spurs,
SpursTalkShow WhatsApp group.
Spurs shit show.
No, but I'm saying, like in the book
show.
Yeah. That's what it's called. Yeah. But in the boardroom meeting, boy, did you see Donna Cullen was back yesterday?
Yeah, I saw.
Really?
Yeah, she was back at the stadium.
Yeah.
They're bringing the old band back together.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there thinking, like, in a boardroom meeting, if Paratici or whoever it is, whoever the guy is that's representing the football side on the board, when he gets in there and like has to give his 10-minute speech of what's going on, like the other people in there aren't going to know what he's talking about, or they are going to know what he's talking about, but they're not going to get into the tactics or anything, are they? They're going to talk on high level things, and then the financial guy is going to talk about the commercial performance. And Paratici's probably sitting there going, "Why am I wasting my time listening to him tell me about how many partnerships we've got with the next toilet paper brand or the next dog food brand or whatever else?" Like, I don't think that those sorts of things need to happen at the boardroom level, Lubo. Like, I think that, you know, as long as the footballing side has their own meetings and their own kind of get-togethers, which you'd hope Vino would be a part of. But I mean, I don't know how Vinay's got time to go and watch the female team yesterday. No disrespect to the female team, I'm sure it's important, but you've got bigger fish to fry right now, Vinay.
You mean today? They won today, I think.
Today, wherever it was. Yeah, he was over there today, wasn't he?
Yeah, they were winning. Chris Cowland was listen. The Ho.
They won 1-0.
Yeah, the Ho said he was very happy with everything. He could not have asked for any more. The window's opened. He's got all the players he's wanted. He's got incredible support from the board and Vinay. We're not hearing that from Thomas Frank, nor will we hear that from Thomas Frank, because he has not been supported. All they've done is got rid of Takai, who's been on the grass for weeks since we signed him, and we got rid of Brennan Johnson, and we haven't bought in a replacement. So we've lost Brennan Johnson, we've lost Kulu, we've lost Richalison, we've lost Bentancur, we've lost Berghvall, Papa Sarr's at boot camp, Bissouma's still away, and the guy's supposed to produce what exactly? Listen, I'm not going to make excuses for him, but what is he supposed to do with that? You know, David Blaine.
Yeah, I think the challenge is, though, Johnny, is it hasn't always been as bad as it is right now.
No,
the injuries have gone through weird states, right? They were horrendous, then they got better, then they got horrendous again, and nothing really has changed. If anything, the performance, like I say, I think the performances in the last couple of games, at least in moments, has been better than it has been in the previous.
More fiery. Yeah,
a little bit more feistiness.
Yeah.
The outcomes.
Yesterday was whether people think the team's good enough or not to win a trophy is another question. But yesterday was the last credible opportunity to compete for a trophy. And look how they turned up first half. Why are they not playing? Why are they not playing first half like they did when they came out of the dressing room for the second?
Xavi was atrocious. I said that to you when I spoke to you. You know, you've got Archie Gray, an 18, 19-year-old kid, having to drop deep every single second to pick up the ball to try and make things happen. He's waving his arms to try and get them to move. That says to me there's a problem. You know, forget Mathys Tel making the mistake that led to the first. He had a much better game, I thought, Mathys Tel, for someone that's been under the cosh and, you know, hasn't really happened for him. At least he's getting a ball in the box quicker, much quicker than Mohamed Kudus is getting it. Kudus was getting the ball into the box. I've seen improvement in him, and I've seen some improvement in Odegaard, but it's not enough.
Well, this to me is a bit of a demonstration of, I think, the gulf, right? And obviously, people that were saying, "Oh, you know, Tottenham." Oh, I thought the Tottenham second half against. I thought it was a game that could have gone either way. People were saying, "Yeah, but you forget, Sean, it's Bournemouth that haven't won in 11, right? So there's not really a great barometer to see the improvement from." Well, Aston Villa did go full strength yesterday, and they are a team that's won 11 out of their last 12 or 12 of their last 13 before we came. So it's a much better barometer. And I did think we improved in the second half, but this is the overall stat, right? Just in terms of touches on the ball in possession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their players had more touches than any of ours, right? 7 of the first 9. 7 of the first 9 players on their team, or 7 of 10, whatever. The top 10 players in terms of touches were all Aston Villas. Away from home, they did that in a cup game. That, to me, most of that was cultivated and created in the first half, because Tottenham Tottenham caught up in that on those metrics in the second half. Like that to me is like an inescapable fact that you're getting passed off the pitch or at your own ground by a very good team. But I didn't even think they particularly got out of second gear in the first half. Aston Villa, their first goal was so embarrassing that Konsa just walked up, progressed the ball, no one was touching him, and then he just threaded it straight, perpendicular.
Buendia was class, though, mate. Buendia was absolute class in that first half. Honestly, he moves the ball so quickly. He's running into the pockets of space. I was saying to Lubo, look how Buendia moves. Look at Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons was running away from the ball. He wasn't coming to the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. That's what top players do. Demand the ball. Anyway, listen, guys, we think we've got trouble. Man United, who have got nothing to play for, no cups, one game a week, are losing 2-0 at home to Brighton. Okay.
Am I not mistaken? Like, didn't they go out in the second round against in the Carabao Cup?
Against Grimsby.
Yeah, so they're going to beat Ange Postecoglou's record low season.
Correct. We only played 41 games. They're going to play 40.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
In the season.
That is brilliant.
You know, so
honestly, when you're feeling really bad, just go and dial into a Man United stream or a Nottingham Forest stream.
Well, listen, look at the money they've spent. They bought Cunha, they bought Mbeumo. They spent money. They bought Sesko. It just shows you spending the money isn't the answer. It's buying the right players for the right manager.
Yeah, having a plan, having an ecosystem, having everyone on the same page, having a fan base that buys in and believes and carries you over the 12th man, is important. And Man United, Forest, and Tottenham are all going through.
It's all going to Arsenal. Arsenal will have someone like Plymouth Argyle at home next. They never play anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, what's that?
They'll get Grimsby, won't they?
Yeah, Grimsby.
Macclesfield away. That would be good.
Something like that. At home. Yeah. Nothing too taxing. Shawnee, I've got to have to go.
No worries, mate. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Give this guy some support. Lubo, see you soon. Come on, you Spurs.
Tomorrow. See you tomorrow night.
When you think, listen, guys, just when you think, if you think it's bad now, just when you think it's bad, it could get a whole lot worse. Stay tuned.
See you, mate. Cheers, Johnny. Appreciate him. Lubo, before I come back into the conversation, let me just do some of these super chats, mate. They're piling up. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Doing this. Logan, THFC, big up to you, mate, with the super sticker. Choo to you, buddy. Really appreciate your support, my man, as always. My man, Futures Bright, Futures Lily White. Big up to you, buddy. Big up to you as well. Choo to you. Thank you very much as well for your support. The plumbing's gone again, by the way. I need to fix it. I had to go and look up some new errors, and I think that there's definitely a leak. I need to get someone out that can do a bit more than my general plumbing professions will allow. Big up to Loves Music. He says Nuno and Scott Parker. Dr. Tottenham will see you now. We're going to come back to those because that's the two games coming up. It has to be 6 points. Anything less than 6 points, and I think that the man has to go. And Luba, I want to carry on with that little sort of idea that you had around. You can't officially make Pochettino, obviously, the manager, if it was him or someone like him, but you might be able to have conversations where it's all agreeable with principle, and then you start to say, who is it you'd like to be working with? What sort of players are you looking for next season? And then we'll get on with building that in the meantime. But before I do, let me just finish these super chats, and I'll come back to let you develop that answer. Big up to you, Loves Music. Thank you very much indeed. Steve Dyer, DJ. Big up to you, DJ. I love your dog in the picture there. Sean, love the show. And Johnny, great meeting you outside the stadium yesterday. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, mate. I'll let Johnny say. I'm sorry I didn't see it before Johnny left. I will let Johnny know you said that, mate. Thank you very much for the support on the show, Steve. Appreciate you, mate. I look forward to meeting you one day, maybe on Saturday. I think even Sava. There'll be no watch along. Well, no watch alongs from Sava or myself on the weekend because we're all going up for the game. So for the protest. Yeah. Sunny as Life says, didn't Paratici find Udogie? He wasn't at Juve. No, he wasn't. He was at Udinese, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
But I think he came. I'm not sure if he came through the Juventus system at some point. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I forget. Big up to you, Sonny. Thank you very much. Chudini's in the gaff as well. Big up to you, Chudini. How are you, mate? Choo to you, buddy. Thank you very much indeed, my man. Appreciate you so much as always. Always supporting. Ray says, great show, guys. Appreciate you, mate. He says, do you think we could get relegated this year? I was looking at that earlier on the Football Inc. Ray. It's a lot of points to catch up. I think West Ham are like 14 points behind us. 13 behind us, yeah.
And Burnley, I think, are 12.
Yeah, so look, if they win both, if we lose to West Ham and Burnley, I think Wolves have got too much to do, right? Wolves
I think so. Yeah. Listen, I think all three have got too much to do. I think we're mid-table. We'll win a few, draw a few, lose a few. We'll probably win enough to stay out of trouble. But we shouldn't be talking like this, should we? This is what we were talking about last year under Postecoglou.
Yeah.
And we're on this time last year we were 14th. This year, now we're 14th. The only difference is we're 3 points better off than we were a year ago.
Yeah. It's not good, mate. I mean, I think we're all scratching our heads what the solution is, but we'll come back to that one. Big up to you, Ray. Thank you very much indeed. And Eamon O'Shea's come in as well. Big up to you, Eamon. Says would like Carrick as an interim.
Wouldn't be a bad shout. Wouldn't be a bad shout.
His last job was Middlesbrough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he got fired last season, right?
Yeah, couldn't quite get him over the line in terms of playoffs. Got him to the playoffs, I think, 2 or 3 years running, but couldn't quite get him over.
Smart guy. Knows his football.
Yeah, it does know his football.
Yeah, I was, but the whole, and just quickly, and Man United is still 7th. Says Sonny is life, still 7th. Oh, in the league.
So that's their final part of the season. To they're not mid-table like us, where they've sort of virtually blown out. Although, listen, if we got 2 or 3 decent players and for me and a really good interim manager, there's no reason why we couldn't aim for 6th or 7th. The way it's all congested at the moment, you only need to run 2 or 3 wins on the spin and you bang in there again. So there we go. Man
United have pulled a goal back. So interesting last 5 minutes there. So Luba, you're suggesting, well, listen, if you sack him though, if obviously you can't do the dirty, you can't start having conversations with the Pochettino until like Manchester United sack Amorim. It looks like they want Glasner in, but for the summer when his contract is free from Palace. So they're probably having multiple conversations right now with Solskjaer and Carrick or whatever, however that's going to look as the interim. Darren Fletcher's in charge today. It will then be those two or one of those two, whatever, for the end of the season. But at the same time, they can probably do what you're saying, which is have conversations with Glasner and say, look, we'll make it official in the summer. But if you're interested, all right, let's sort of gentleman's handshake this. We'll pay you this. We'll get you that. Who do you need? What do you want? And they can start doing that sort of planning and everything now.
Well, the difference, Sean, the difference between United and Spurs is that Amorim talked himself out of a job, didn't he?
Yeah, he got himself sacked,
Yeah. Whereas Spurs are in a position where we're dropping and dropping and dropping. And I mean, 2 wins in the last 12, I think it is. If we repeat that over the next 12 games, then we are 15th, 16th, 17th, maybe, going into the last 2 or 3 games of the season. And I think we've got the last games. I think we've got Chelsea. Our last away games, Chelsea, if my memory serves me correctly. And the last
form. This is our form. So if I go back a page. So from all the way back to from the League Cup, right? So we lost to Newcastle, lost to Chelsea, beat Copenhagen, drew with United, lost to Arsenal, lost to PSG, lost to Fulham, drew with Newcastle, beat Brentford, and then beat Slavia Prague, and then lost to Forest, lost to Liverpool, beat Palace, drew with Brentford, drew with Sunderland, lost to Bournemouth. So yeah, 2 wins in a lot, 2 wins and that one. And we're out of both cups in that time. And our best performing competition is the Champions League, and largely because we've got a Europa League set of fixtures in that game, right?
Yeah.
In that tournament.
Yeah. So we have got the last few games, just looking at May, and we're away at Villa. We're at home to Leeds, away to Chelsea, and at home to Everton.
Yeah.
So, the 2 away games, Chelsea and Villa, you wouldn't expect Spurs to get anything from. Villa may still be doubtful for me because I think Arsenal will win it, and I think they'll win it comfortably. But Villa may well be in a race for top 3, top 2, I don't know. They'll want to finish off, particularly going into May, they'll want to finish off on a high. So it's not going to be easy. Spurs have got to start picking up points. We've got to win the next two. If we win the next two, then for me, we should be well clear of West Ham and Burnley. Well clear. We'll be, what will we be? 15 and 16 points. Definitely. Possibly more, maybe 18 and 19 points clear with 15 to go. So,
think about how bad the merit money is going to be again, right? Last year we talked about how much money we were losing in merit money relative to the year before. What is it? 3 million quid a position?
Something like that, 3.1, I think. Yeah.
So about 35 million quid down relative to finishing, say, 5th or 6th, right? Something like that. Yeah. And then I would imagine with the amount of money that we probably haven't been making, because the stadium's been 80% full, 70% full. They're dropping the ticket prices, and that's not selling them either. Even against yesterday, it wasn't a sellout of the stadium. Like, I would imagine that they're probably, I don't know, at least 15, 20% down on match day revenue.
Yeah.
No European football next season, as it looks.
Interesting that the crowd yesterday was about 57,700, wasn't it?
Was it?
9,000 were Villa.
Yeah, right.
So we only got 48,000.
And we still couldn't sell it. Couldn't
sell out the other 3,000 or 4,000 tickets.
Do you think things would be different at Tottenham this season if we had lost the Champions League, lost the Europa League final, and we were not in the Champions League? We had a year without Europe. Do you think Thomas Frank would have had more time? He would have had more time on the training ground, but would it have made a difference?
I think you wouldn't have had this outpouring of grief that Postecoglou's been sacked. You wouldn't have that, because every fan would have looked at that and said, Jesus, that is the most horrendous season.
Yeah.
He had to go. You're then looking at a situation where Frank doesn't have that much to beat, because there's no trophy in the cabinet. So you've now gone 17 years without a trophy, and you're looking on an improvement on 17th place. So right. Frank would have been given extra time. He wouldn't have lost the 6 midweeks that he's had to work with the team, because he's lost 6 there.
Yep.
In Europe, he's also lost 6 in international weekends.
Yeah, I think we got a couple. Did a couple of the injuries not happen during European games? Didn't Udogie go down against? Was it Copenhagen or was it against Slavia Prague? Isn't that where we lost him?
Yes, I think Udogie got injured on one of those. So listen, it's all gone against us. I don't like the. Sorry, that will ring off in a minute.
Daniel Levy saying, "All right, Lubo."
Yeah,
miss me, bro. Miss me.
I'm watching. I don't want you bad mouthing me. And for me, I just feel that. I just
can't believe you've still got a home phone, by the way. Who has a home phone anymore?
No. My mother lives with us, and it's her point. It's her only bit of contact with various people. So
fair enough.
So that's why we keep it.
1980s calling. Sensational.
I just want to answer a couple of comments.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah.
Billy said, "I love loser Poch so much. What's the difference between Poch and Southgate?"
Who said this? Sorry.
That's 601.
601.
601. No, when I see
there's only been about 500 comments since then.
Has there been? Okay, no, because as I'm scrolling down, if I see a comment I want to reply on, I put the comments on pause.
Okay.
Southgate did brilliantly Southgate picked up the international team really well. He was helped by having a lot of very good players coming through, but he couldn't get us over the line, and that was down to, for me, just he wasn't tactically good enough. If you'd have had Mourinho in charge of England in those 2 finals, England would have won them, for me. Sorry, not the 2 finals, should I say, the final and the semi-final. And against Croatia, we were 1-up through Trippier early, and he sat back, and he watched Croatia dominate the midfield. and he only reacted when it was too late. The same with Italy in the final. Again, was it Luke Shaw? I think early goal again, and then sat back as Italy took over. So he failed at the top level because he wasn't up to it. Poch, I think, Poch is different level for me. He's a different level manager.
To who?
To Gary Southgate. And I think the other thing also is that
if Southgate came to Tottenham, he'd be hounded out. Even if we won the league, even if we were second in the league, if we won, it'd be different. But even if we won every game, the fans would be like, "Can't handle this geezer. Can't handle him."
That's right.
He's too wooden. He's too nice, and his football is stinky.
No, you know? I'm reading on social media American fans who are writing in saying that Poch is doing a brilliant job with the American football team.
No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's
hang on a second. Any Americans in the chat? They're just
starting to gel now with performances. He's just getting them going now, which is the right time to do it.
Any Americans in the chat, you let us know what you think of Pochettino.
Yeah, please do. Also to Luke, would I still want Poch back if he didn't want Gray? If Poch doesn't want Gray, then he doesn't want Gray. I support the club. I don't support any individual manager or any individual player. But Poch would probably get a lot more out of Gray than Frank and Ange have got. So,
yeah. Mark is coming down to the protest on Saturday. What do you expect for the protest? I'm doing a show with Billy T on here tomorrow, guys, letting him promote the protest for Change for Tottenham. Obviously, in the past, I've always been supportive of the notion of it. I've been to many of the protests, but was never really someone that sort of shared their viewpoints.
I'd like to get money.
But I actually feel like this ownership, that this new version, the new majority owners, I got pissed off with them from the very get-go when they started to rebrand and pretend like it was for me, it was a giant bait and switch that was never, it was obvious to me that this was a disgraceful attempt to kind of paper over their own inadequacies and pretending like nothing's changed or that everything's changed, but in reality nothing has. And then the last 4 months has shown that this club is in disarray. I think it looks worse. I think it looks in worse shape. I think it looks more rudderless now than it ever did, even though I never shared your take on your viewpoint on Levy, Lubo. I certainly acknowledged a lot of the things that were wrong with Daniel Levy, but I at least thought he was a Tottenham guy, and I think that he kept the tight ship. This one, it feels like it's lost at sea. I think this, since he's gone, I feel like the club's gone into more weird ways and poor decisions than ever before.
The club's drifting, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the moment, the club's drifting. There doesn't seem to be any leadership. Levy was too extreme. He micromanaged everything.
Yeah.
Rather than delegate, and now it seems that we're not. Now it seems nothing's going on. It's gone from one extreme to another. I just want, we just want balance. It's like you had Ange with his kamikaze system, and now you got Frank with his pragmatic defensive system. Why do we have to have extremes all the time? Why can't we just be like normal football clubs, and have football people that understand the club, that want success for the club, and bring in proper football people to run the football side? I don't think I've ever despaired quite as much in all the years I've been following the club as now, because we just seem to be lost, and there doesn't seem to be any sail in sight, with these owners, which is why these protests are necessary. Let
me ask you. I'm going to ask you a question, Lubo. But in the meantime, guys in the chat, there's over 1,000 people here. Love to see it. This is only for the people that are going to the game or that are in the vicinity. I'm not asking for people like if you're not going to be in the town, if you're from a different country or whatever, then don't put a 0 in. But for those people that are going to the game or are going to be in Tottenham on Saturday, how many of you will attend the protest and how many of you won't? So please don't try not to obscure or I don't want to muddy the kind of the ones and zeros there with people that aren't going to be there anyway. So just for the people that are going to be at the game, how many of you will attend the protest? 1 if you will, 0 if you won't. I'd love to get a little bit of an indication there. Lubo, what sort of numbers do you expect from the protest? Do you think it'll be bigger than it was in April last year? I think it was April, wasn't it? Or February? Was it? When was the big one? March, was it?
The big one was February, I think, before the Man United game, mid-Feb. And I think it lost momentum. The last two were in April when we were in the semi-final, and then after the semi-final win and before the Palace game, when only I think 20 people turned up, because it was 10 days before Bilbao, so you weren't going to get people that were going to turn up protesting against the ownership when we made a European final, because unfortunately people don't see the bigger picture. It's just about they're interested in the football side. We're in a final. What am I protesting about? But as we've seen this season, it's not just about making the odd final and winning the odd trophy, because for me, it's the football side's been neglected for many years. And at the end of the day, if you downgrade every player you replace, when you're replacing them with a worse player, then sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. This is no surprise. This shouldn't be any surprise to anybody. When you look at the players that we had 8 years ago in that brilliant season, the last year at the Leighton, that was the peak. 86 points was fantastic. And
unbelievable.
Most years up to then, I know City and Liverpool hit high 90s in the last few years, but up to then, 86 points would have won the league most years. And those 2 years between 15, 16, 16, 17, Spurs won more points than any other club. We just didn't win the league. It was just over the 2 years, Leicester won a lot more than Man City and Chelsea. Rather, Chelsea finished 10th the year Leicester won it, and then the following year, Chelsea won it. So we were the most consistent out of all the clubs.
Yeah, but there was also it was a perfect storm. I do think people need to recognise this. This is why I'm kind of like, on the one hand, I'm loath to bring back Pochettino, because I think it will potentially ruin his legacy. But what he inherited and what we built, for me, it was the excitement. We knew the stadium was being built. We knew we were moving to Wembley for a season and a half. It was a young team. We'd been in the doldrums for so long, and then like the Harry moving, or Martin Jol moving to Harry Redknapp, it seemed to go in the right direction, like positive steps the whole time, and then it all kind of harnessed around the energy of Pochettino, who outperformed at the same time as everyone was looking forward to this bright future. The new stadium is going to change everything, and Wembley first, and we were selling out Wembley, and we were playing in the Champions League and beating teams. It was fantastic. But the other variable, Lubo, was that the big teams were also going through their own versions of rebuilds in that period, right? Arsenal were nowhere near the version they are now, and nowhere near the version they were under Wenger, right? So there was that 8-9 year period where Arsenal really fell down by the wayside. Liverpool weren't the same Liverpool as they are now, or they were previously. Manchester United were just going through, the post Alex Ferguson slump, if you like, and Chelsea and Manchester City were still doing their things, but there was just less competition, and there was more opportunities because there was more chaos in everywhere else, right? So I just feel like, the last part of that recipe is that the fans just were all on board it. Even if you lost games, all right, we'll dust ourselves off. There wasn't the toxicity. Also, social media. I don't believe social media was kind of where it might have been. I wasn't a part of it, certainly, in the Poch era, but it just felt like everything was in the right direction. Whereas now, I think if you bring Pochettino back, I still think we need to do it to get to scratch the itch. I think we have to kind of, I've said it before, I think that we'll always hold a candle to him, and we'll always compare everything to that era until we get him back. And then maybe it works out again, and maybe he can be the second catalyst and give us our second wind. Because thus far, the 2020s has been the worst decade since the 90s, really, hasn't it? Yeah,
it's been dreadful. It's been absolutely dreadful. I think Mitchell brought together a lot of very good players in the first half of that decade. Poch came in. They finished up the team by bringing in Toby, Sonny, Dele, and then Wanyama a year later. We had a superb team. They played fabulous football. And I just remember thinking, when Poch came out with his team, about 20 minutes after Poch came across about 20 minutes after the final whistle in Amsterdam, and everybody was one. It was the most incredible feeling as a fan for Tottenham Hotspur. we were going for a Champions League final, which is something that I never dreamed I would see in my lifetime. And here was this manager who just got it. He understood Tottenham, and the football he was playing was football that the fans wanted to see. This is, it was forward progressive football. You had Walker and Rose. You had people like Chelsea would come to Spurs, and they'd have Hazard on one side, and whoever was on the other side wouldn't even attack. They'd be pushed back so far by Walker and Rose overlapping that it just nullified the danger of these top clubs. They gave Dele and Ericsson the room to move, to play behind Kane and Son.
That's the thing. Do you think you could still play a 4-4-2 with the game being like every midfield now is filled with three monsters? And even if necessary, a fourth one will drop back, or a centre back one will push forward. It's about the midfield battle, and I hope that Pochettino would be able to, recalibrate his own tactics to make it work.
Right, Amelia's.
All right, hang on. I've got to show.
All right, mate. No worries, but I appreciate you, Lubo. Take care, mate. Oh, he's coming back, is he? Okay, he's coming back. Okay, then me and you again, guys. Me and you. Listen, that's what I was going to show. This is what I was going to show Lubo. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. Can anyone remind me? I can't really remember. Say my memory's like filled with useless shit. Like I can't remember anything that's important, but I can remember like a Simpsons episode that I haven't seen since 1994, word for word in the script. On Andre Villas-Boas, right? He got 1.91 points per game. He was in between Harry and Poch. Best performing on a points per game basis. Like, even though it was a small sample size, what was it that happened there? Like, why did we decide that it wasn't? Was it because we misspent the Gareth Bale money and he wasn't happy? Did he call out Daniel Levy? Did something go on? Because even though it's a small sample size, at the end of the day, if you've got 1.91 points per game over 7 games, you wouldn't be sacked unless something else has happened. Or did he resign? Was he unhappy? I can't remember what it was. Can't remember what he did. Seriously, AVB had prime Bale to rescue a ton of 1-0 wins. The football was turgid. Is that right? Okay, so the fans weren't happy, was it? The fans weren't happy, and then Daniel Levy was like, get him out. He barely won a game after Bale left. Yeah, Gareth Bale. Fair enough. Fair enough. We were getting thrashed against all the big sides, beat all the smaller ones. Yeah, but he still got 1.91. How many games did he play? Let me have a look at Villas-Boas. Villas-Boas, Tottenham record. Here we go. He set a club record. Is it on the screen? Yeah. He set a club record 72 points in 2012-13, but was sacked in December 2013 after poor league form and heavy defeats. Despite a perfect Europa League group stage, he managed 80 games, averaging 1.83 games per league match, the best in the Premier League era for Spurs at the time. But heavy spending and inconsistent results led to his departure after a 5-0 loss to Liverpool. I don't remember. I don't remember a fucking thing. I swear my memory. I'm guaranteed when I'm like 55, if I live that long to get what's the word? What old people get? Dementia. I know it's coming my way. My memory's so shit. Let's talk a little bit about some transfer news, views, and clues. I'm going to give Lubo 5 minutes to get back. Otherwise, I'm going to go off on a rant or something. Let's have a look at this one. £40 million Greek winger Tsolis, right? You want to look at this one with me, guys? This is interesting, right? We want him to come to Tottenham. He doesn't want to come to Tottenham. It's the same as that guy, same as Jan Diomande, who wants to go to Liverpool. Tsolis told Het Nieuwsblad, when asked about joining Atletico Madrid, he said, I want to go to a top team. That's all I can say. So Atletico Madrid isn't top enough for him. When asked if he could leave in January, the winger replied, I'm not aware of any concrete interest at the moment, so I'm not even considering it. Maybe you know more than I do. I'd like to win the title here first, although you never know, so I can't say with 100% certainty that I'll stay this winter. If a crazy team comes along like Barcelona or Liverpool, anyway, you know what I mean, but I don't think that will happen in the winter. Don't get me wrong, I'm really happy here, but I feel ready for a team that's competing for trophies in one of the 4 biggest European leagues. That's my ambition. I only want to leave Club Brugge for a truly top team. There are no concrete reports that Liverpool and Barcelona are interested in Tsolis, but it would not come as a surprise if the 2 clubs start to take a closer look at him. The Greece international has scored 11 goals and given 15 assists, in 30 appearances. Fucking hell. 26 in 30. That's jumped up recently. During the 24-25 campaign, Tsolis found the back of the net 21 times and registered 16 assists in 56 matches. That is unbelievable stats. That is unbelievable. 37 in 56 last season and 26 in 30 this season. That's crazy. Crystal Palace wanted to sign Tsolis in the summer of 25, and the winger has now addressed interest from the London club. He said that interest came just before the match against Rangers, so my focus was on that. When asked if he was tempted to join Palace, the winger said, a little bit. I like the way Crystal Palace plays football. I considered whether it might be a good opportunity or not, but I immediately told Devi Rijot and the staff that I wouldn't push. It would be bad for the team if I didn't want to train or play because I wanted to secure a transfer. That's not how I am. A month earlier, I'd signed a new contract, but okay, everyone listens when there's an offer, although I didn't want to go to Crystal Palace at any cost. Staying was also perfectly fine. I don't regret anything. On the contrary, this was even the best choice. Look, I'll tell you what, I like what he's saying there. I like his ambition. I like the fact that he's not going to disrupt his current team. I like the fact that he hasn't spoken badly about that team. And I like the fact that he says he's happy to stay and win the title and move in the summer. I like the fact that he thinks he's a top player. Obviously, if he's saying he wants to join Liverpool or Barcelona, I'm not sure if necessarily he's that standard yet. Maybe he will be. If he carries on going for the second half of the season, maybe they will come in for him. Based on those quotes, I would have said if Tottenham came in for him, he'd probably say no. But he also said in the same breath that he was a little bit interested in Palace. So, I really like Tsolis. I think he's quality. I think he's a really, really good player. And Club Brugge, every player that leaves Club Brugge to go on to bigger teams, to bigger players, they do really well. Every single one of them. There's very few players that go on to bigger and better things after leaving Club Brugge and fail. Very, very few. Look at Igor Thiago. Look what he's doing. Unbelievable. Look at the geezer who went to AC Milan that we were looking at. In the summer. Johnny and I were talking about him non-stop. His name escapes me right now. The midfielder. Brilliant passer. He's done really well. They all do. Chemsdean Talby, the guy who went to Sunderland. Cracking player. Scored unbelievable goals last year in the Champions League. Or was it the Europa League? Champions League. Scored a brilliant goal away in Italy. I think it was against AC Milan, or was it against Juventus? I forget. Unbelievable player. And he's doing really well. He settled in nicely into Sunderland. But for me, this guy is better than Talby is. So, Coop Miners as well. Yeah, Coop Miners was there. De Ketelaere was there. Charles De Ketelaere was at Brugge before he went to Atalanta. Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah. Well, I don't mind being a stepping stone Bourbon Buzzard. I don't mind it. Just sign the guy on a 6-year deal. And then hold the guy hostage, you know? David Coote has ruled himself out becoming the new Manchester United manager. Coote said, I have my reputation to think about. Jesus, that guy's had a bad year, isn't he? That guy's had a really bad year. Fucking hell. Couldn't have gone worse for him. Donut. Poch had nearly 300 games versus AVB's 80, both with a 54% win in the Premier League. Yeah. Listen, I wasn't advocating that we go and speak to Villas-Boas. I just forgotten what it was that Arden Jashari. That's the one. That's the one. 100%. 100%. The other guy I spoke to you guys about in the summer is another player that was in Belgium. He was at Charleroi called Adem Zorgan. And he then signed for Union Saint-Gauloise. Let's have a look. Let's see how he's getting on this year. Adem Zorgan. What a player he is, by the way. He's slow. He's not particularly mobile. He's a big lump. But his passing stats were last season absolutely phenomenal. I haven't seen it. I haven't had a look. Let's have a look at him this season. Unbelievable player, this guy was. He's now playing at St. Union USG. Is his stats quite as good? Oh, look at that. He's still doing it. Look at this guy. Adam Zilgan. This guy is passing is phenomenal. He can do whatever. He's like a magician with it. Passes completed 96th percentile. Passes attempted 99th percentile. Total passing distance 1150 meters per game. Per 90. 97th percentile. Progressive passing distance 435. 99th percentile. Short, medium, long, 98th percentile. He does 12 long pings, so pings a lot per game, and 8.5 of them get to where they're supposed to go. This guy's passing is unbelievable. 98th percentile for passes into the final third. Passes into the penalty area, 2 a game. He's unbelievable. His crosses, his switches, his through balls. He's probably done more through balls in one game than Tottenham have their entire season. Shot creating actions, 95th percentile, 4.3 times a game. He does something that leads to a shot. Goal creating actions, he does something that leads to a goal, 91st percentile. What a player he is. Unbelievable. Such a good player. Look at that, 99th percentile for carries. 58 carries a game, by the way. 58 carries a game. 93rd percentile for carries into the final third. Tell you, he's about 25 now, I think. Is he 25? How old is he? He's just turned 26. He was 26 on Wednesday. He's a big lump as well. 6'1.5". Oh, he's not that big, 79 kg. But he's not the most mobile. But he is a winner chicken dinner. This Saba. Hello, Saba. How you doing? Just saying, we're looking forward to seeing you, my man. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, getting to meet him. Sean, this isn't the Premier League he is playing in because of all the top managers would be queuing up to sign him. Oh, that's like that old analogy, mate. 2 stockbrokers walking down the street and they see a £5 note on the floor. And one says to the other one, it can't be real. If it was real, someone would have picked it up already. You know? There's late bloomers, mate. Look at that the striker who I wrote off last year or 18 months ago, saying to you guys it was all luck. It wasn't true. The geezer who played for what's his name? Zohari. What's the guy's name? He plays for Dortmund now. Hang on. Dortmund striker. Serhu Guirassy, that's it. Serhu Guirassy. I wrote him off because he scored like 27 goals 2 years ago. And then last season, he moves to Dortmund and scores 13 goals in the Champions League. And he's carried on this season as well. But he didn't get going until he was 27. You know? I said it last year. I said at the time, I said, look, he might be excellent. What I've seen of him on the Y Scout, I think a lot of his goals is poaching. I think a lot of it's by, obviously you've got to be in the right place, but it just looks a little bit accidental, a little bit clumsy. So he wasn't for me. And I also said the same thing as what you said, Lynn. I was like, he's 27. Where's he been? Where's he been for the last 8 years of his life? Some people were just late bloomers. There's a lot of late bloomers out there. Wasn't Jamie Vardy a late bloomer? You know? Pretty sure Jamie Vardy was late bloomer as well. There was the guy Jeff Horsfield at Fulham. Remember him? He was I did say he was clumsy. Yeah, I did say he was clumsy. I still think he looks clumsy, by the way. What's Tsolis's drinking stats? I'm 99th percentile for all of those, mate. I'm 99th percentile for all of those. Yeah, you're a late bloomer. You're a late bloomer, shelf dweller. You're a late bloomer, mate. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. Your time will come, buddy. Your time will come. Is it really not possible for us to get Tsolis? Yeah, I think it is. Ian Wright, another one. Peter John, and another late bloomer as well. I think it's. I think it is possible to get him 100%. Just a reminder, guys, keep a lookout on OK Jersey, because if you were looking for those nice shirts, those ones that there was only 1,901 of them. I think that OK Jersey might have them soon. So keep a lookout for that. Manu Kone, mate. Listen, he's the sort of player that immediately gets everybody going, right? Tottenham Hotspur fans would immediately go, wow, yeah, we're back, baby. Now go and do another one. But he's never going to come. He's never going to come to Tottenham. Well, I don't think he would come to Tottenham. He might come to Tottenham. He might come to Tottenham if you paid him enough money. You know, I think there's some players that Tottenham could convince to come here based on being in London, being in the Premier League, and sell the project that, you know, we need. We're in a kind of artificially suppressed position because we're going through a transition. The club is going through a lot of transitions at the top. With all that stuff comes, you know, a bit of chaos. You could sell the story if you were a decent salesman, and that's why I think that Johan Lang isn't the guy. Because if Johan Lang's selling the story, it would you'd rather watch paint dry than listen to him pitch you. But Paratici might be able to do something. He's only got 20 days left of his tenure before he gets to move home with his missus. But I think if you were to go and give Roma an amount of money, it's Roma, isn't he, at Kone? You could go and give him an amount of money that is 1 second. That makes them set up and say Ratatata. And there's also a fee that he could. How much is he earning? Let's have a look. Manu Kone salary. I know that the salary cap thing is rubbish. Manu Kone earns around 3 million euros net per year. His total annual earnings, including bonuses, could be 6.5 million euros pre-tax. So that is about 120 grand a week. No, hang on. 100 grand a week is 5 million. Yeah, so about 130,000 euros a week. What's that? 100 grand a week? 100 grand a week. So you could pay him 150 grand, right? 160 grand a week. How much would he cost? Manu Kone. Let's have a look. Manu Kone is valued at he's valued at 50 million euros. So that would be you'd need to pay 70 million quid for him, I think. But you do it, right? You do it because any manager wants him. Any manager at all would want to work with him. Cracking player. Absolutely cracking player. Ruben Neves. Yeah, but listen, he's a player that's slow. But listen, but he can move the ball. The ball moves faster than the man. Same with that Adams Organ thing, by the way. I'm not saying that we should buy Adams Organ. I don't know how good he is, but his passing stats are phenomenal. If you have access to the Y Scout, or just go and I think there's a brilliant YouTube reel of his passing range as well. His passing range is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, you can get a player. The thing is, I don't know if you bring in Ruben Neves and then you play him next to, say, Polinia, who at the moment I think that Polinia for me is the number one name on the team sheet. I think he's remarkable how much he cares, and his effort, his willingness, resilience, desire, fight, determination, and his excellence at doing his job. I think his execution is sensational. Everything that we did yesterday in the second half going forward started with him winning the ball back. And he won it back in transition from tackling from behind. He'd come through, win the ball back, get up, relay it to Xavi Simons. And of course, as Aston Villa were going into offensive mode, we then switch, come back, transition quick, he gave it straight to Xavi Simons, or he gave it to someone who gave it straight to Xavi, and then Xavi can then run at players who are then trying to backpedal and get back into organisation. Like, that's where our value came from. Also, when he did the same thing and it led to Odebear's goal that started with the move from big up to you, Sav. Hope you're okay, my man. Started with I think it started with Polinia's reception. Also, the ball that that was the move that started with Kolo Muani, right? But all of those things happen in transition. So you need a guy that can win the ball back and give it. And that's what I've always said about him. Plus his leadership and his mentality is fantastic. But if you were to go and get a guy like Ruben Neves, and then you say, well, you either play Ruben Neves in the 6 as the deep line playmaker role. Does Neves have Polinia's ability to win the ball back in dangerous moments? Nowhere near as good. He can still get feisty and stuck in, but he's nowhere near as good at the defensive side as Polinia is. So if you play him next to him, and you say you had Ruben Neves and Polinia instead of Archie Gray, The problem is then you've got a ridiculously slow midfield because Polini is he's not quick, and Ruben Neves isn't quick either. But you do have unbelievable distribution. But you got to find the distribution. And one of the things that pissed me off more than anything else yesterday was when Archie Gray came deep to receive the ball and then sling the ball over the top, he was just looking straight up and just looking for Richalison. And Aston Villa had squeezed the game so much. And Unai Emery always does this against Tottenham. He squeezes the life out of the game, makes everybody come narrow, and says, go on then, use your wingers and see if you can beat Matty Cash and Luca Digne or whoever it was that was playing, whoever it was that's playing left back. I think last night it was I can't think of the top of my head who it was, but traditionally it'd be Luca Digne and Matty Cash, right? And so, but yesterday Archie Gray's picking the ball up and trying to ping it over the top of Pau Torres and Konza. They just mopped it up and they're trying to give it to Richarlison, which is one of the reasons that led to Richarlison popping his hamstring. All the while, if he just looked over to the right-hand side, he would have seen Odegaard he had 20 meters of space around him. There was nobody near Odegaard at all, and Odegaard was hugging the touchline, but we didn't get it to him. So I don't know if that's by design or if it's by, if it's Thomas Frank saying that's how we're going to play and I want you to stick to it, or if it's by the players just being sort of poor in their peripheral vision to see the obvious easier option just to ping it out. It's no more difficult to ping it. It's easier to ping it to a guy that's got no one near him than it is to ping it straight over the top anyway. But we didn't do it. And I'll tell you, I don't know what's worse. Is it worse that Thomas Frank would say, don't do it the way I want you to do it and stick to the game plan, regardless of the game state? Or is it worse that the players don't have the kind of the confidence to think outside the box and go against the grain with regards an instruction? Think back to that 70th minute. We get the corner kick and Aston Villa decide to put 3 guys on the halfway line. Clever from Unai Emery. Because you know why? We react immediately to what they're doing. We put 3 guys up to defend against it. But we're chasing a game in a knockout competition. So why are we reacting to them? Why aren't we trying to think outside the box? Because I looked at that game and I saw there was 6 men on the halfway line, essentially. They're 3 and our 3. And then everybody else was inside, apart from Vicario, everybody else was inside the 6-yard box. So there was 45 meters between the furthest forward players and the guys in the box. All that we had to do was one of those 3, or someone in the 6-yard box, go to the edge of the D. Because then Villa have to react to that. But we didn't do it. We stuck to our predetermined set piece, which is every single time. We've only got 2 corner kick routines that do anything, by the way. It's so predictable. Sorry, Bissouma. One of them is try and score from the set piece. Like when Pedro Porro takes his right foot in swingers, he tries to score, and if it's in the danger zone, then it can be a melee or whatever else. Or the other one is hit it to the back post and let Moani or Ben Davies or whoever it is try and head it back across the box for Richarlison to put, or someone else to kind of head it home. They're 2 set piece routines, and that's what we really rely on. Arteta's probably got about 400, and Arteta's just hired officially the world's best throw-in specialist. I mean, how do you become officially the world's best throw-in coach? It's a pretty niche market, isn't it? I doubt there's that many people out there that are competing for that title. Yeah, I'm a football coach. Are you a football coach? Well, I'm a set piece coach. Are you a set piece coach? Not all set pieces, just one specific type of set piece. Wait, are you a corner kick guy? No. You're free kick specialist? Like, you're free kicks? No, not even that. What sort of set piece coach are you? I'm a throw-in coach. What are we doing here? It's the most niche and it's the lowest grade of all set pieces, aren't they? You know. Listen, you can make something out of that. But he is, the best and only, Elvis, the best and only. Number 1 of how many? 1. Very good. Very, very good. What's going on? Is there a spammer in the chat? Aussie Ange, you're pissing people off. Stick him in the timeout. Well, I'm even seeing what he's doing, but if he's pissing people off, we'll stick him in the timeout. We're not blocking you, Ange, Aussie Ange. We're just going to give you a couple of minutes to cool off, bro. Sean, do you still rate, or do I rate Stiller? Angelo Stiller? Yes, I do, yeah. I would love to get him in and you play him with Xavi and Polinia. Like if you put it in data MB, you're hitting or close to the outer circle for all the stats. Oh, should we do that? Should we do some data MB stuff, shall we? All right, let's have a look. Let's see what data MB is saying today. How do I do this? Is it on the screen? Here we go. Stiller. Stiller. We're trying to fill up the entire square, are we? The entire octagon. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It's not bad at all. I feel like you can do it in a different way, though. See, if you go and get Manu Kone, then you kind of have a wonderful carrier as well. Or if you go and get me Locatelli, he fills up everything. Or if you go and get me a Goretzka, he fills up pretty much everything. Locatelli and Polinia would be a dream world partnership. Look at them two. Gomez from Liverpool, from Wolves even. Oh, Gomez has no. Oh, that's hang on. Yeah, Gomez is okay. Get rid of Polinia there for a minute. Yeah, Locatelli would be dream world, though, wouldn't he? If you could go and get him, that would be sensational. The player that I like, this is, you were saying earlier on, Lynn, that that players don't, we know about them. We know about them. We could go and get Maxence Kakare as well, right? He's not very good in the duels, but if you have Polinia, you can go and get him. He is someone that would come. He is someone that wouldn't be too expensive. And you, and in Maxence Kakare, you have a player that really is very, very capable at passing. Unbelievable carrier as well. And someone that I think is always flies under the radar. Always flies under the radar. What are we doing here? We've got a new member of the show. Big up to you, Danny Tucker. Big up to you, my man. We're going to try and do a members phone-in show tomorrow. Oh, is it tomorrow? No, I've got a show, Billy T. Tuesday. Members phone-in show Tuesday, mate. If you want to come on, meet me and come say your piece, it'd be awesome to meet you, my man. It'd be awesome to meet you. But Edison, Kakare, and Agume. Lucian Agume. He's a player that splits my thoughts. I don't think he's that great. A lot of people tell me he's awesome. Who else you wanted? Edison. He's a monster. And who's the third one? What was the third one that you wanted? Kakare. Oh, Kakare, yeah. Yeah, Kakare and Edison are not too dissimilar. But Kakare is going to cost you half the money Edison would. I'd take Edison in a heartbeat. Of course, I would take Edison over Kakare. But look, there really isn't that much difference. Edison can, and you have to remember as well, right? Kakare is doing that for Como, right? Como are a team that you should be looking at because the context of their footballing narrative, where they are in the league, what they're trying to achieve, how they play football, versus if you're looking at someone like, I don't know, let's pick a guy like Pedri or something, right? Obviously he's brilliant. And he's fantastic at everything he does, but Pedri is doing that in a team that has 70% possession and that wins every game, and so doesn't have to really, it'll be you take Pedri out of Barcelona and you put them in a team like, I don't know, Burnley. Does it change everything? Not really, because he's a player that is a possession-based player, and at Tottenham at the moment we're a 50% at best at times possession-based team. So you're looking at a player like Maxence Kakare that's doing it for Como, and you can see that he's a player that plays amongst a balanced team that sometimes plays teams that are far better, sometimes plays teams that are far worse. So that's where I think the balance is. But yeah, Edison as well. Atalanta are a team. We're Atalanta in the Serie A. They're not doing too well, are they? Serie A table. Atalanta are Atalanta are 7th and Como are 6th. So there you go. So yeah. But you'd rather have Edison, I guess, right? You'd rather have Edison. Who's clueless? Me? You just become a member to call me clueless. It's just what we're doing here. I just want to call you a clueless butler. I am clueless. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, guys. Listen, I've given my man Lubo enough time to come back. He hasn't come back. The donut. So we will pick this up tomorrow. Big show tomorrow with Billy T. He's going to be getting the old saber rattle. It's coming out for the change for Tottenham. You can hear him coming over the mountain. And last question for you lot. Would you put Bissouma back in the team? He's just been kicked out of the Serie A. The AFCON. He'll be back hopefully by Wednesday. He's fully fit. Does Bissouma go straight back on the bench? Because I tell you what, one thing I would say is that he got chastised, right, for breaking protocol. He got dropped. He got suspended for smoking a balloon or whatever you want to call it, inhaling a balloon, which obviously is terrible. It's a terrible professional thing to do, and it obviously looks bad for kids and stuff. So it's not great. I hear you on that. And turning up late is obviously unprofessional as well. But for me, so is walking off the pitch and disobeying your manager. And Jed Spence, Micky van der Ven, and Destiny Udogie all did that, and none of them faced any reprimands. None of them faced any consequences. I also think that as the captain of the fucking football club, calling out your ownership twice in a year is also sets a really bad standard, and it doesn't suggest that you're pulling in the same direction. I think there's ways to go about it, and he got away with that twice. Twice he said that there was a stern talking to, and they took out the lies bit out of the message, but no action was taken. So for me, if I'm Bissouma, I'm thinking, I've paid my I've paid my dues. You know, so is confronting the fans. 100%. But Bissouma's a poor role model. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I don't think fighting the fans is a good good precedent to do. I don't think ignoring the kids when people are asking for a shirt to be signed or a picture and you get off the team bus. I think there's a lot of things about the football club's behaviour that needs to have a look at. But I just think that from a consistency basis, there's been 5 or 6 different members of our squad that have all let themselves down in various departments over the last year, and only one of them, as far as I'm aware, has been reprimanded for it. I don't think that's good. And at the moment, I personally think that Bissouma walks into our team ahead of Archie Gray and needs must. So for me, I really hope that Thomas Frank recognises the situation, and also I think he needs to, be a little bit more consistent with the way that he hands out disciplinary action. Yeah, Biss sucked the balloon. He didn't kill anyone. Yeah. And I don't know what those balloons are, but aren't they just like, it's the same stuff that you take when you're in an ambulance, right? And you broke your leg or something. Is that what it is? It's the nitrous oxide, right? Biss is a crackhead. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, Art. Jesus Christ, mate. That's a little bit harsh. It's NOS, right? Yeah, nitrous oxide, laughing gas. It's the same thing that you get. When I dislocated my knee playing rugby, they gave me that. They gave me the NOS, and the bloody canister ran out. And so they said, "Oh, sorry, we'll give you some more when we get to the station. We get to the hospital. By the way, we need to straighten your knee out. So brace yourself, son, because usually you'd be doing this under the NOS." And then they did it, and something went snap, and they chipped off, and I lost half my kneecap because of their incompetence. That was the most painful. I thought dislocating my knee was the most painful thing, and then sitting in the snow for an hour on a rugby field waiting for the ambulance to turn up. That was horrible. I was went into shock. But then when they finally arrived, and I thought that my heroes were here to save me, they actually broke my knee trying to straighten it. So, yeah, let's play the. Well, listen, guys. Look, we can't go a whole day without doing this one because it is the transfer window. So. By the way, I found out who those two dancers are, and there's a whole like catalogue of them dancing to random, crazy, stupid songs. So you might see more. You might see more of those two in my catalogue of jingles. Anyway, guys, just want to say a massive thank you to all of you lot for stopping by this evening. Yeah, I did play rugby. Did I tell you that before? Well, I told you that before. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was decent as well until I discovered alcohol at the age of 18, and then it all went downhill very quickly. Guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Let you enjoy the rest of your evening. I don't know. Let me see if there's anyone I can send you over to. Is there anyone live right now? Let's have a look. See. Let's have a look. See if I can send you over to anybody. Oh, there's no Spurs fans. There's no Spurs channels going. So, all right then. Let's. Should we go? Should we keep going? Should we have? I've still got half a drink left. Should we keep going for another 10 minutes? Should we keep going? Nah, I'll let you go. Appreciate you all, guys. Love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Big day with Billy T. I'll be back in the morning as well with an update if there's any transfer news, views, and clues. But I feel like there's a story that I haven't brought to your attention, though. Is there? Oh yeah, hang about. There's a couple of stories here that I haven't brought to your attention. I probably lost half you then. Half you probably already dropped off thinking that I'm leaving. Don't leave. Never leave until I leave. Okay. Micky van der Ven's desperate to leave Spurs amid Barcelona interest. Manchester United keen on Serie A defender Tarek Muharemovic, who also, I believe, Tottenham Hotspur are looking at as well. In today's edition of Euro Transfer News, Barcelona have identified Tottenham Hotspur defender Micky van der Ven as an option. Oh, get that off the screen. I've probably just been demonetized for having that. Absolutely fantastic. It's no secret that Barcelona is closely monitoring the market for centre-backs to strengthen their squad for the upcoming season. The Catalan club is clear, and they are looking at Nico Schlotterbeck. What a player he is. Bastoni. What a player he is. Mark Gahey. What a player. I don't think he's all that. I've got to get that off the screen, Butler. 100%. I've just been demonetized. For fuck's sake. It's Dutch international Micky van der Ven, a player who desperately wants to leave Tottenham this summer and would welcome a move to Barca. The sporting management views the signing of the centre-back as a strategic operation and is confident that resources will be available to handle a high-level transfer. I think that they might have to sell Fermin Lopez. No, Frank's not sacked. I haven't, unless something's coming out, is there? Is something coming out about that? Don't think so. Yeah, he's good. He's very, very good. I'm not sitting there questioning how good I just think he's a bit overrated, personally. I think he's a bit overrated. El Marla, the player who plays in Germany, the left winger. Lightning quick. Very, very good. He's almost as quick as Timo Werner, but he's got a bit of a finish on him. You'll take Fermin Lopez for Van der Ven. I reckon. How much do you reckon we could get for Romero and Van der Ven? Do you reckon we could get combined 150 million quid? Like 90 and 60 or 150? Is it? You get 170? Is it true? Is there people saying he's been sacked? What? No. What are we doing here? AS Roma and Villarreal are interested in loaning Mathys Tel, by the way, guys. Mathys Tel wants out of Tottenham. Oh, and Kalubo's come back. I was about to leave. Oh, my camera's gone weird as well. I was about to leave, and then we decided to go for one more. I've still got half a beer left, so I thought we'd stay. You're back, Lubo. Where'd you go?
Keys locked in the car. Spare keys taken down. Opened up the car.
How do you lock your keys in the car, though? How's that happen?
The My daughter got out of the car, wind blew the car shut. Keys are inside. For some reason it locked. Went down the stairs, opened it up.
How far away was she?
Not far. Thankfully, not far. So
what would she do what would she do if she didn't have you, mate? You know?
There you go.
Well done, Daddy.
That's what Dad's
we were just talking about how much we could get for Micky van der Ven and Romero combined dual sale in the summer.
Well, I'd do a swap with for Jude Bellingham. You get Bellingham across.
Well, we're just saying that Barcelona want Micky van der Ven, but they might have to sell Fermin Lopez to make it work. But
they won't have the money unless they, as you said, unless they sell and bring money in, they won't have the money for Van der Ven. So, listen, hopefully, things will get sorted out. By then, we'll have a proper manager coming in, and Van der Ven will really look at the situation and think, you know what, these guys are serious. You know. And things will look a lot better. You just don't know. You just don't know what's around the corner of football. There's so many different things that happen. Who would have known 25 years ago that Abramovich and Mansour would come in and transform Chelsea and City's?
They were nowhere. They were nobody. In the 1990s, Chelsea had a car park behind their goal, didn't they? In the early 90s.
I mean, I remember being there in 1990, and the ground was half full. It was like when Lineker scored. When Lineker scored a last-minute goal.
That's one of the last times we beat them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable voodoo we got over them. Let me ask you this, Lubo: if you were to have your way, right, and Thomas Frank was sacked tonight, and all of his coaching staff would as well, what do you then do? Right, like you say, you bring in Igor Tudor or bring in Harry Redknapp. Or God knows why everyone wants that to happen, or someone else, right? So, bring in whoever, give it to Glenn Hoddle, give it to Michael Carrick, whatever. But you also need to bring in a whole new load of like temporary coaching staff as well, don't you? Yeah,
but then you've got to be looking for the manager to come in the summer straight away. You've got to have some sort of idea.
You're still going to have 3 or 4 months worth of football to play.
Yeah, and listen, I personally, I think whether he's unlucky because of the injuries he's had, because we've had Champions League football. I just don't think he was the right manager to bring in style-wise, Sean. I think we look at it. It's another Nuno situation, And you had Jose and Conte who were out and out winners, but they weren't backed. So for me, they've gone from one extreme to another. And again, it's just a strange appointment by Spurs. You look at it stylistically, it's just a strange, a strange appointment. Postecoglou was too much one way, and Frank's too much the other way.
It does. By the way, after the game yesterday, just quickly, let me show you this. It doesn't look like he's getting sacked anytime soon. I've got a bunch of tweets here. I forgot to bring them up in the show. Let me show you this. So first of all, Paris FC are among the clubs keen on signing Mathys Tel.
Yeah.
Tel wants to be kept by Tottenham, but the player is dreaming of playing regularly and having a chance to go to the World Cup. Well, he's going to play regularly now, isn't he?
Sure. Sure.
We've done the Paratici exit thing. Thomas Frank on whether he waited to make substitutions due to a lack of depth. Yeah. Basically that was it. I don't think we, for whatever reason, had the depth.
I thought it was strange, Sean. The substitutions he did, he brought on Solanke and Scarlett.
So Mathys Tel. Yeah. And Odegaard.
And took off Tel and Odegaard. So the supply lines for those players, he took off.
Yeah, madness.
Which didn't make sense.
Absolute madness. You need to leave one of them on. 100%.
Take Moani.
Did Ben Scarlett even touch the ball, by the way? I don't remember him doing anything.
Can't remember. But then, you got Moani, Scarlett and Solanke all on the pitch. Who makes the runs? Who goes into what space? it's a shambles. It really was a complete cock up. For me, I didn't understand that because, I mean, we were watching, John and I were watching Tel on our side, and Cash was backing off him the whole time. They were backing off. They were having to get 2 and 3 players across quickly. I didn't understand why he would take both off. Take one off, okay. That's one thing, but both, I don't know. Strange.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Completely hear you on that one. On whether the team's inconsistencies highlight the need for Spurs to do whatever they can to sign new players, I think we definitely need to do everything we can to play 2 good halves, which is, I think every team wants to do that. Every team wants to be consistent in that. Anyway, he says,
I don't want to hear this shit. I just don't want to hear it. Listen, get those teams firing from the first minute. Go out and finish games off by half time. I don't want to hear that we're a 45-minute team. We had this with Conte in the second season. You know, we go 1 down or 2 down by the time Conte's team started playing. It was I don't know.
This is what I wanted to show you. This is regarding his thoughts on being sacked.
Yeah.
Completely feel the support. No doubt about that. Of course, we're disappointed by the result and the fact that we don't have better results. We need to put more and better performances together. We're all hurt. But basically, he thinks that he's got all the support. He thinks that he's not going to get sacked.
He's in dreamland. He's in dreamland.
I don't know if he is, mate, because like I say, I don't know. Like, I think everyone makes this point of like, where do you go if you sack him? And I think you're making the point as well about getting ready for Pochettino in the summer or whoever. And I'm on board that. There'll be a raft of options in the summer. But you can't go and organise a new manager whilst you have an old manager. Like I said earlier, right? Darren Fletcher's obviously only on borrowed time at United, so it's okay for them to be talking to Glasner for the summer and also talking to Carrick or whatever else for now. That's fine. But you can't be talking to Pochettino whilst you've still got Thomas Frank. So you can't have any of those conversations. If you do decide to sack Frank after another loss against West Ham or whatever, then you have to get rid of all. I guess you have to get rid of all of his coaching staff. They come as one. Although, is there any chance at all that they might sack Thomas Frank and then keep the coaches and say, Cochrane, you take the job for 6 months?
Correct. Would he
he's supposed to be big stuff, and he's supposed to be big time Charlie.
Yeah. That's an option. Personally, I think maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. Listen, Redknapp said he'll come back. Carrick is available. Bring the 2 of them together. You know, Carrick knows football. You know, and Harry does for sure. And Redknapp would be brilliant in the dressing room with the players. So for me, it's, you know, go and get them, and then look to the summer. We're not going to go down. We're not going to win a trophy. For me now, it's, you know, for me, you have got a chance of Europe next season still, but the way it's going, the results are getting worse and worse, and he doesn't seem. Listen, he's unlucky with injuries. There's no question about it, but he doesn't seem to get them up for games, and that's for me. That's a big problem.
And I heard that it was the players that were furious with themselves. And there was a bit of like, you know, self-motivations at halftime. I can't imagine him inspiring people. I don't think he would inspire me. You know, I've heard Ange speak. I never gave Ange too much credit for his tactical nous because it was all like just do it our way, which was the opposite of what we do now. All he cared about was how we do it. All Thomas Frank seems to care about is how the other team does it. But so you need a bit of a hybrid. But I've heard Ange Postecoglou's team talks, right? And they, at the right moment, they could send shivers down your spine, you know. Whereas I just can't imagine Thomas Frank, you know, motivating much. I couldn't imagine him like inspiring me to turn off the telly or go to bed early or whatever. I just think like, shut up, mate. Shut up.
We've won 3, drawn 4, and lost 7. I think of the last 14 in the league.
Yeah, how far off? So you think that the Europa League is still, that Europe, in some degree, some guys is a possibility.
We're not that far away, but again, I think you need a change.
Where do you finish? So seventh is 7th or 8th would be
7th or 8th
league, right?
Yeah.
So we're only 4 points off of Conference League. You know?
Correct. You know, with 17 games left, so there's plenty of time, plenty of points to play for. But at the moment we're on a downward spiral, and that's got to be stopped. So they're looking at it. That's right, 50% lost in the last 14. It is just poor. I mean, Saville's coming out with figures today about the last, where are we now, 66, 87 games. We've lost 42 out of 87. So, at the end of that first 10 games when we were top, commencing from Chelsea.
Yeah, but that's what I don't. It's not about Saville, because I see these stats everywhere. That's what I don't like, the way that's done. Like if you take it from the point where, like, so because if you start, you should really start the season, right?
So,
like
42 from 97, Sean. If you say 42 from 97, or if you say 30 from 59 from the start of last season.
Yeah, it's horrendous. But again, the thing I don't like about that is that therefore, ergo, the data suggests that the squad is horrendous. Well, not necessarily. It could mean that you have two bad managers in place, right? But it's correlation, not causation necessarily, right? Like I saw someone earlier on Twitter. I think his name was Bill Nick or something, who put out this speech about here's all the he basically said if you're comparing Ange's last season to Thomas Frank has had the back four basically the same, or at least the centre backs the same for the entire season. Ange Postecoglou didn't. And then look at the games that we've lost this season. Look at the games we've lost last season. And look at the centre backs we had. He said the data therefore proves we're losing all these games despite having the best centre backs. And I'm like, listen, I'm not saying this to defend Thomas Frank, but that whole tweet that kind of gets to the conclusion of Thomas Frank has to go. They're only looking at half of the injury crisis. They're not looking at the forward players that are missing. Because to lose a game, you not only have to concede goals, you have to score less than you concede. And we don't have the same amount of attacking.
Listen, this is
the same amount of attacking.
Sean, I said this last week. The situation is much, much bigger for me than Postecoglou and Frank. They are two managers who, for me, are nowhere near the level of manager we should be bringing in. You look at Joel, Harry, Poch, Conte, Jose. These are much, much better managers, different levels to Ange and Frank. And for me, the club's lost. The club's got no identity, which is what Billy was saying the other day. There's no culture. There's no mentality. There hasn't been any mentality there. For me, possibly, I don't think the club's been going in the right direction since Venables left in '93. I think I'd go as far back as '93. I think Venables was a football man. He was the half of that partnership. Even in '93, we got knocked out of the semi-finals. We had a poor league season. He had Tim Flowers, I think, who was the Southampton goalkeeper. He had Des Walker from Forest. He had Roy Keane coming from Forest as well, I think. They were trying to get hold of Letizia as well, all for the 93-94 season. The following season, Sugar got Klinsmann in. The following year, both us and Arsenal, mid-90s, were pretty much even Stevens. Bergkamp wanted to join Spurs. Sugar said, I don't want that Carlos Kickable. That quote is very famous, And
Johnny still calls that. Johnny uses that name for his fantasy football team.
Yeah, and from that moment onwards, the following year, they got rid of Rioch and brought Wenger in, and from there on, Arsenal went in one direction and we went in the other. And nothing changed when Enoch came in. The mentality has not been for football. You can say he's done a fantastic job leading on the money side, but we're football fans. We talk about football. We don't talk about. We don't talk about Tottenham's books. We're not an accountant who's going through Tottenham Hotspur FC.
Yeah, but we also had a second place finish, a third place finish, a Champions League finals, 6 other finals. It wasn't all terrible.
Sure, but we were not quite there, were we? Had they gone the extra mile, we may well have been winning those trophies. So for me,
yeah, maybe. We never know what happens, right, in life. Like we hadn't signed one personal. We think about the Chelsea scandal, right? Willian, That was the guy that started their investigation, right? Like that's 84 charges or whatever they've got against them. Still goes back to that whole Willian thing. And he was coming to Tottenham.
He sat in the stand.
He jumped out the back of a window, the window in the toilets or whatever.
No, what happened?
Got an Uber on Tottenham's paid to Chelsea, signed for them. He might have signed for us had it not been for Chelsea. And he was the player of their season in the season that they won the league. So, like, there's a whole bunch of like other variables that we overlook, right? He was going to come to Tottenham. If it wasn't for them doing what they do, then we might have had him, and then everything might have been different.
His agent told him to sit tight. He was at the grounds. I think there was a match on that night, and he said, "I've just had a call from Chelsea. Don't move. Don't sign anything." And the rest is history. And that's what I was told.
Chelsea cooked the books to get that deal done, right? So they cheated to get it done. Do we get any compensation for that? No, because it's a whole other timeline of reality. I'm not saying that he would have been the same player for Spurs or anything else would have happened, but all of those players that any of these teams had signed when they cheated to do so, cooking the books, well, those players wouldn't have gone to those teams. They would have gone somewhere else, and then the players that those teams signed instead would have gone somewhere else. And so it's a butterfly effect thing, isn't it? You never know. But what you can be sure about is that other teams have been cheating and getting away with it. Okay. And I think for the most part that Tottenham have done everything by the book, which I admired. But actually looking back now, I think it was naive to think that, and I think naive of me, and I think naive of Daniel Levy to think that FFP and PSR was really intended to, to make the big teams play ball. I think there's always been that many loopholes for a reason. They can't be that inept all the time and leaving it open all the time. I think, Nottingham Forest and Everton are the only two teams that have really had any punishment, and they were minor infractions relative to what City and Chelsea have been up to.
Sure. Allegedly. My beef with the club has always been that they haven't done what they could do. You're not in control of what other clubs do. I know that. And you're not in control of the ramifications of what other clubs do. But if Spurs had pushed themselves and still failed, then for me I'd have said full marks. If you're trying to get there, but other clubs are getting there because of nefarious ways, etc., then fair enough. But we haven't pushed ourselves. They haven't been interested in glory. It's just been about profit. So for me, that's why that's why I feel the way I do. I just feel they cheated me, maybe not out of trophies, but they've cheated me by running a club that they haven't given their full commitment to. We may not have won trophies. I'm not saying there's no guarantee in life, but and we're certainly not entitled to win trophies. But to win 13 in 38 and then to win 2 in 25 shows a massive drop-off. Massive drop-off. Even if there'd been 2 more trophies, sure. If it'd been 4 in 25, you're there or there, But
yeah. Well, we had the opportunities too, didn't we? We got to enough finals. Yeah. We lost on penalties to Man United in 2012. We lost to Blackburn in
2009. But I've got to tell you, that was the year United lost to Barcelona, I think, at Wembley in that final when Messi was brilliant.
We lost to Blackburn in Cardiff.
No. Yeah, that was, for me, that was the one. You look at
that game. I was there that day. I couldn't believe it.
So it was weird.
Do you remember the traffic getting out?
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually, because I had to wait 2.5 hours. My train didn't leave Cardiff till 7:30. Unfortunately,
my dad drove me, and I fell asleep in the car. I was so tired, and I woke up like 3 hours later, and I was like, "Are we not home yet?" And he went, "We're about a mile down the road, Sean, and you've been snoring as well, so wake up."
Yeah, the other one that really pissed me off was Portsmouth semi-final defeat, which was the year they won. But we should have won that. Again, they didn't turn up.
Was Sol Campbell in that Portsmouth team?
Can't think.
I think he was.
That was 2010, I think. 2009, 2010.
Yeah, we've had lots of semi-finals, lots of quarterfinals, finals.
With the extra push, with the extra money, with players that have been bought, we might have got over the line. Anyway, we are where we are, and I just hope that everybody turns up who can turn up, who's going to the game, will turn up on Saturday for this protest, because we need it. We do need it. The club's dying. As a major force, we are dying compared to where we were. This club is on the way down, and it doesn't seem to me. I might be proved wrong. I hope I'm proved wrong. But the Lewis family don't seem to be.
What do you want to see for this protest thing? What do you want to see?
I want to see 5,000 to 10,000 people there. That's what I want to see.
Do you reckon?
I don't think we'll get it, but that's what would I like to see? That's what I like. 5,000 to 10,000.
What are you expecting? You're expecting a bigger one than what you saw in March of last year, Man United.
I would hope we will get the same amount of people, maybe slightly more.
I think there'll be more. I think there'll be more.
I hope so. I think it might be an idea also to get Billy on for a short period on Thursday's show as well. Sean,
he's coming on mine tomorrow, so I'll definitely let him plug away. And if he wants to come on Thursday, he's more than welcome.
Yeah, just stick his head on, remind people, just sort of put it in front of people, and by then there'll be more details for timing and where and what they're going to be doing. So
you got your yellow and purple scarf.
Who's me? Oh. There you go.
Does it say that Levy out? Or does it just say Enoch out? What does it say on it? Enoch out. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I'll be wearing that on Saturday. Yeah.
All right. Listen, we shall see. Are we going to see any rabbit hole gossip within the next year? Sure. Yeah, we are, mate. I'm going to come back. I'm trying to get my energy levels back, mate, and I'll definitely do one very soon. I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos to show everybody, so we'll definitely get back on that. Guys, we'll leave it there. Big up to you, Lubo. Thanks for coming back on, mate. And 40.4k now. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. The subscribers apply. I'm seeing loads and loads and loads of new names as well that I haven't seen before, guys. So please do smash the subscribe. Really appreciate you. Spurs 5 is tomorrow night. Apparently Tel's been texting me saying that he's coming for me. He's going to cook me. I don't know what he's going to try and cook me on. No one cooks me. It's impossible to cook me. I am Teflon. You know.
We shall see. We shall see.
He says he's coming locked and loaded about something. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And listen, you know, we and him haven't had a cook-off for a while, so we're going to go. Guys, please do check out OK Jersey. As I said, if you're looking for those white ones, I think they're going to be up on that website very soon. Big up to them, and big up to all of you guys. Massive thank you to all this. Oh, there's a couple of super chats I haven't done as well. JB McCauley, big up to you, my man in Australia. Bloody hell, early for you, 6:30 in the morning on a Monday. Must be before work. Can we loan Frank out to a sleep clinic? Yeah. Do you know the thing that annoys me most about him, Lubo? It's his chewing. It's his chewing of gum. Like, right. Did no one teach him to close his mouth when he chews? Like, it's a disgusting habit. Like, I don't know how old he is, 55 or whatever. Come on, mate. Like, if I had dinner with him and he's sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's a little thing. It's a little grind. That annoys me about as much as the Arsenal Cup does. Big up to you, JB. Appreciate you, mate. And Sam's come back in as well. Says, "Oh, your mate Skov Olsen is in talks with Glasgow Rangers. Really interesting. That's the standard, is it? That's the standard. Skov Olsen's a player.
Are you done with the super chats, Sean?
Yeah, it's the super chats done. Yeah,
very funny couple of comments just out. Gary Officer, Sean is the Trump of Spurs 5. Is still going to be the Venezuela? This is the question. and Alfred's.
If I'm honest, he's going to cook me.
You are the John Gotti of the Spurs 5.
I'll give him the strong warning if he cooks me just once. I might have to come in hard on him.
He does scream at us a few times, Alfred. You know, it's all like, blimey, hang on. Sean's on one here. We'll call you John. We'll call you Butler Gotti now.
Who's John Gotti? Who is that? John Gotti.
Mafia, mate.
Oh, the Mafia guy.
Mafia.
Well, honestly, you know, if he comes in.
There you
go. Sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. All right, guys, big up. We'll see you tomorrow. 1-0 to Barcelona as we say goodbye. Rafinha. Wow. In the Super Cup. Big up to them. Big up to you all. Love you all. And thanks, Luba, for coming on. Appreciate all the super chats and all the support. Please do smash the like, subscribe, and get over to the Spurs 5 as well tomorrow for more of the same. But you'll see me tomorrow here with Billy T as well. You
cannot put, Sean, this week you can't put a horse's head on the bottom of Stell's bed because he's in Cyprus at the moment. So forget about that.
Is that why he's coming for this week? Because he's out of town. He's got that Cyprus confidence, has he?
He's in Cyprus.
We'll find out tomorrow. Appreciate you. Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening. And as always, come on, you Spurs.